Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
Crystal Vann from the BART, the realtor. The BART marriage.
Oh my God! You want to start over? You want to start over?
No,
it's great because
you know what you say. You know what you say. You know what you say. You say, "I'm so sorry." Every time I look into your eyes, I get frazzled by your beauty.
No, because
right. That's all you gotta say. You're just like, my wife's here. I got horny. I'm so sorry. She's so sexy.
I started.
Fixed it.
I started with one half of the BART Merrick team.
That's where you should have kept going.
But then I was like, BART the realtor.
Yeah.
I screwed it up.
Yeah, you did. You did. We got.
You guys know.
We also got a voicemail this morning from a gentleman who said he went to the Science Center's new life exhibit to see the gopher tortoises. And I said, what? And he said, and I wrote it back. I'm like, what? And he said, Tom said tortoises. And I'm like, God damn.
Hear everything.
Leave the man alone.
No, it's fine.
Leave him alone.
I deserve it all. And this is, so Crystal is
King Tortoise
is in studio to
Not
talk
Crystal.
about.
I was calling you that.
Hey, babe.
Our trip we just took, and I feel horrible about what happened, even though Crystal. Oh, what happened? Oh, I got a booger.
No, it's not a booger. It wasn't a booger. I was trying to do it discreetly.
You had me yell. You had me yell. Leave this man alone.
It was just a splash of your drink. It was a splash of your drink.
You can say I have a booger. It's not
a booger. It was a splash of drink.
It's a boogat.
Do you remember the story I told 2 weeks ago on the show?
No.
Thousands of people I told about the doo-doo pants.
Yeah.
Well, you're on the camera. I didn't want,
we didn't get a lot of negative email about that. A lot of people were like, yes, I'm glad he crapped.
I know, that's what they want to see it.
That is what they wanted.
No, I got multiple emails that are like, you're just like me.
I'm a baby. I poop in my pants.
No, I got an email from a guy that's like, I'm a 300-pound trucker that only eats McDonald's, and I do my pants too. I'm just like you. That's what I get. Anyway, so
Crystal Vann is here.
And
Hi.
By the way,
one half of the BART Merrick team.
Thank you. There it is.
Because of my personality, I deserve all this. Everything. Yeah.
Well, but you don't.
Yeah, Crystal will tell you. Everybody that listens, they're like, I like it when bad things happen.
Do you notice that? I don't tell you anymore.
He knows.
Do you know that, because you gave me this idea. You were like, Daniel, you just need to give up. Remember when you told me that?
Yeah, just let it go.
Just let it go. And I've been letting it go. And now the listeners give me crap. They're like, fight with him. And I'm like, I'm not going in circles, dog. I ain't going in circles.
They want to see it.
They're like, fight with him. I'm like, I'm not going to fight with him.
He wears you down.
Yeah, he does.
So to rewind a little bit and just give you the backstory about how this happened is, and like every vacation that I go on, I want to build these adventures with my son.
The chat room wants to know if Curtis's wife is wiping. Curtis's wife is wiping his boogers on the carpet.
God, I hate the chat room.
They're there for you every day.
They love you.
No.
They're the P1s.
They're there to see me fail.
But they do love you the most. They do.
I don't know. Anyway, so I want to build these adventures with my sons. I don't know why it's a mental illness now because
maybe
they don't even want it.
I don't think I would say it's a mental illness, but I think I would say, as your friend, even though I know you don't respect a word I say, that I know that it's gone a little far. Like there are balances, right? Like you don't, you guys are not the Pastrana family. You're not,
I see the Pastrana family on my social media.
I know you do.
And they're doing the Arizona swing, and they got wakeboarding.
You know what I did? I did Fat Dad tube down a river. Works every time.
Pastrana's daughter skydiving now. He's skydiving.
Yeah.
She's skydiving.
She's 3 years old. She's 3 years old.
She's like 9 or 10 or whatever. She's jumping a goddamn side by side.
At 2, she went cave diving with Tiger Woods.
Anyway, so I want to build these adventures, and so we're going to Colorado.
They're quests.
So we start researching, like, what can we do, and we got the standard hikes and stuff, but I'm like, we need something big. Because, like, we could do...
We need a showstopper.
We need...
we need a
Pastrana.
number. We need an ending number.
It was an ending number, all right.
We need some pyro. What do we need? Can I come out of the roof?
Well, I'm like, we need a giant Arizona swing into a lake, or something.
A blob? How about a blob?
Yeah, a blob, something grandiose.
If you guys think that he can't sit still in normal life, you should see him on a vacation.
He sits still here. Here, he'll just sit and stare at the computer and yell at it.
Yeah, but his mind.
There's nothing to do here.
He's slapping the screen. He's like, I need more numbers.
His mind is. Oof.
Anyway, so
it's rotten.
So anyway, we're looking, and then we're Googling what we can do.
What would Joe Rogan do?
And then we see this mountain biking. It's summertime in Colorado.
Do you want to rip? Do you and your family want to blast?
So there's all these ski mountains that they turn into mountain bike mountains, and they literally take the mountain bikes up the ski lifts, and then you ride them down.
Dope. I didn't know that. Andrea had to explain all of this to me, and I'm like, that sounds awesome, but it does sound fast.
Well, okay.
And I ride bikes, and you ride bikes. It's
riding a bike.
I used to mountain bike. I haven't mountain biked in 20 years at Flagler College.
I have never mountain biked.
At Flagler College, I used to go out every weekend and mountain bike around because there are trails in Florida.
Well,
I mean, they're not good. But
that's just dirt trails.
That is mountain biking, though.
No, but you would go down in a gully and you would jump over a thing.
Apparently,
and it's hard.
Mountain biking is not all downhill. Like, that is another kind of mountain biking. Downhill mountain biking is a type of mountain biking.
This is an 11,000-foot mountain that actually.
Well, that's the total elevation. It's not like we went from 0 to 11,000.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Like the base village is like 7,000.
But it's
8,
not Florida mountain biking, which we've never done either.
Right.
Correct.
True. That's fair.
I've barely good on road bikes.
I've done it with Alex a couple times in Florida. We just essentially just riding a dirt trail. Anyway, so we see this, and there's a mountain bike activity, an excursion in Snowmass Mountain.
Excursion, or do you want to go extra fast?
Well,
I suggested that we take a class, and he was like, "No,
we're
not going to waste our time and our money in a class. Just biking."
Our sons hate classes. They tell us. They're similar. They got a little bit of
class
my
is
DNA.
Lower than them.
Yeah, they got a little bit of a. Don't tell me, I already know.
Yeah. Which we both.
You know what we call that? You know what we call that in the
I
dentist
do have
family?
that too.
You know what I call that in dentistry? It's called toe biting. Because there was a kid at the pool one time. There's this bug in the pool, and I scooped it out of the pool and I put it on the side. And this little kid walks over and he looks at it and he goes, "Oh yeah, that's a Mississippi toe biter. That thing will get you good." It was like a little kid saying this. And I'm like, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Like, get the hell out of here, kid. So I cut forever. When you talk out of your ass, you're a toe biter.
So we see this mountain biking
that was really expensive.
Yeah,
and
he told me that part.
That I thought maybe was too advanced for us.
Yes.
And then he thought, well, maybe you're right. Maybe we should.
Well, we got 3 classes. We got little rollers. We got having fun, and then we got blast.
Well, no, with the video, okay, so just like regular skiing, there's different trails with different colors associated with how hard they are. There's a green trail, which is for beginners.
Yeah.
There's a blue trail, which is more advanced.
A little more.
And then there's a black trail.
Yeah. You know what that means? Long trail.
Yeah. Hard.
Fast.
It'll get you. And you'll never go back. Anyway, so they...
I agree with that.
So there's a green and we watched the video, and the video, in the promotional video...
So you would like to learn to mountain bike.
...is a dad with his 2 sons going
down. They got you. That's how they got you.
And
the dad looks into the camera and he's like, I've never done anything more rewarding than riding down this mountain with my sons.
And so
I feel like a man.
We even brought the boys in and put the video on the big TV.
Oh, you sold it. You really sold it. Like, guys, we're going to Disney World.
It's funny because they don't care. They're like, whatever. They're not excited. But it's me and my dream because I want to.
How pumped did you get?
Ride a mountain bike down.
And what do you get? Like high five? Like, mountain. What do you hear in your brain?
Well, I envision like me and my sons. They're in the full gear because they give you a helmet, full face helmet.
I laughed at you guys in the full.
I didn't want to wear.
You look like Master Chief from Halo. You got these big old.
Thank God I had all that.
Yeah, no ass, dude. Seriously.
Well, that's
the first thing I said to Andrea is I was like, that first picture saved her life.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that you were like.
Well, that's another part of it where I'm like, this is Snowmass Mountain.
You're bouncing around too much.
Okay, well, I want to just explain.
He doesn't want to take accountability for anything.
The math.
He's like Lauryn Hill over here. Nothing's ever his fault,
Damn,
Sorry,
bitch.
It was the media. It wasn't Lauryn Hill canceling the tour.
broken leg.
The math I did was this is the most expensive mountain in Colorado, and it's like Disney World.
I agree.
And I'm like,
is it the one I skied?
Yeah.
Oh.
So super expensive
one. It's where the kids learned with Laura the Lion.
Oh, yeah. She's great.
Yeah. So I agree with him on that. Like, Snowmass doesn't do things wrong.
No.
Like, if this is a green trail, it's set up for people to come.
And my free lunch at Snowmass was balls out awesome.
Free lunch?
Well, with my lesson, they gave you a per diem, and we got
food.
It was awesome.
And this is what I know about lawsuits. It's the Walmart that gets sued. So it's the people that have the most money. So if you have the most money, most likely in my math that you are not going to have something too hard, because you wouldn't let a bunch of people get hurt all the time because they're going to be suing you crazy.
Sense.
So then I was if we went and
why would people be doing this if once a tour somebody got hurt?
Yeah, if we found some guy in Facebook Marketplace is like, hey, you want to come just use my bikes and go down this hill? I'll be like, well, that guy doesn't care.
You've done that before, haven't you? Like with side-by-sides or cabins, you find some guy.
Well, that guy doesn't care about getting sued. He doesn't have anything.
Right.
So that's where you're going to get hurt, the fancy place anyway. So we saw, and then we booked it. And Crystal was apprehensive about it, went back and forth. She's like, it's expensive, but I'm like, but we're paying for the adventure.
I wasn't thinking anyone was going to get hurt. I was thinking it's going to be miserable because our kids do not like to work hard. Okay, I'm sad to say that, but they don't.
Don't tell people.
Well, they already know.
Because
it's
their number one trait. What would you say is your number one trait? Well, I'm the best at not working hard.
Well, you know what doesn't help? Your business partner's daughter is the hardest working person you know.
It's a bad comparison. It is a bad comparison.
That should help.
You're harder working than I am.
That should be motivating.
It's literally
it's a bad comparison.
The hardest work. When I'm running, I'm like, just work as hard as Maisie. I use Maisie as motivation. A 9-year-old.
Yeah, but I never spent any time with her. Like this morning, she was
working all the time.
This morning, she got up and one of her dance friends called her and she's like, "We're gonna go do makeup or some makeup challenge." I'm like, "Bye." She's like, doesn't even care about me.
So anyway, we booked this trip. Crystal's like, I don't know. I'm like, no, let's just do it. I think
in the past we have booked similarly priced things before that have been either miserable or not worth it because they were too young or they weren't ready for it. Right. And my thought was, like, we're not really ready for this. The kids have never been on a big bike before. Like, they ride on the street, but that's, the extent of their biking ability, and it's not even really that often. So are we going to go put them on a mountain and expect them to be able to go down and enjoy it? That's where my head was at. But then I thought, well, screw it, let's just do it and make them do it. And if they hate it, they would go down one time and then everybody hates it and we leave.
Sea level road bikes. And you booked
I'm not even joking. Well, in retrospect, I did start thinking about this when we were in the hospital. I had a lot of time to think. I was like, you know what?
A lot of dads say that.
I'm like, why did I think my sons could do this? If I told them ride through the neighbor's grass, I don't know if they could do that.
It's hard. Have you ever ridden through the neighbor's? Yeah. It's hard riding through grass.
Like, if I asked them to ride.
It's hard.
Yeah. So it's like, why did I just think we could go down a goddamn mountain?
Ask Maisie about the time we were riding bikes, and to avoid squirrel, I wrecked my bike. I wrecked it and then because some old lady thought that she caused it, I lay there and pretended I was dead because I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed I didn't want to stand up.
So
because when you get to a certain age, when you fall, it hurts, dude.
We get there and we go through the registration. Did
you have to watch a video like skydiving?
No video. No, but that's what was remarkable. Now that I think about it,
remarkable.
Not one video, not one person saying like. It was obvious when the vans were standing there that we had no idea what we were doing and never done this before.
Yeah. Oh, also the bike.
I have a Florida hat. I'm obviously high.
Like banana.
Watch this little tiny clip of Max first getting on his bike. That first of all has gears. Max has never had a bike with gears before. It has enormous suspension that puts him up so tall.
Holy crap.
Yeah. The bike is way bigger than I thought. Way bigger than his normal bike.
I mean, he's on his tippy toes.
And they're like, it's fine. He's going to do all right on that thing.
I mean,
and then I'm like, can you tell him some instructions or something? I mean, we don't know what we're doing here. And they're like, just go up there, do the kids run twice, and then you'll be good for the green. And I'm like, okay. He seems
Colorado
confident.
people are tough about their rocks. They don't care.
Which was odd because you think for a super expensive mountain, like there would be someone being like, oh, these people should not go. They were like, hey, you sure?
Are you guys at the top or are you getting your gear at the bottom?
No, getting the gear at the bottom. So
paint the picture. For you walk in, the vans walk in. Are you picking helmets like
no,
people do?
They hand us like
there was a guy with big fluffy hair who looked like
broccoli.
he just rolled out of bed.
Yeah,
he did not give a shit about us. He gave me knee pads that apparently were too big and slid off me.
It's fine. I get it.
I was riding.
Then you're not cursed.
No, it's fine.
What did I even say?
Actually, it's not even going to be here.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'll get it later, but it's like,
I don't want to be the one who gets anybody in trouble.
You're not.
So
nobody's listening. You can't get in trouble. I'm serious.
We get all the
Jack's
gear
not
on.
listening. They preempted us for sports.
Yeah, we get all the gear on. They give us the bikes. And then so when they give
How are you feeling? Confident, scared?
No, when the bikes rolled out, I was like, no.
Okay, these are the questions I'm going to ask, and I don't want to interrupt you, but I do like the initial reactions because you're pretty. Yeah. You're not gonna.
Yeah. I mean, when they handed it to Tommy, he was struggling just to hold it up.
They're humongous bikes, dude.
Huge.
And
our
he
kids
couldn't even get on.
I don't really know like the sizes of bikes, but I do know
my mountain bike was too big for me. I'm little, and it was humongous.
My kids are on a 20-inch bike. They need to be upgraded. Their parents just haven't bought them new ones yet. But so these were 24-inch bikes, so that's already bigger. And the tires are huge, so that added a couple extra inches. And then like there's all this big suspension, and the seats move up and down automatic.
It's a lot.
So when TC and I saw the boys trying to just ride around the little parking lot or the little storage area, they were like falling off the bikes on flat ground, and we looked at each other and we're like, sorry.
You're good.
I'm
so
sorry.
Write them down. It's totally fine.
I'm on a lot of Advil.
You're fine.
You're fine. Yeah. So then, but I knew at this
That's what
point,
I'm here for.
The likelihood of them giving us our money back.
Yeah. They're already on the bikes.
And also, what my buddy Alex is there, who's a mountain biker, and he's got.
Did that intimidate you at all? Like
it actually made us feel better.
Okay.
Because he was helping the kids. Like he was telling them some tips.
Well, I also don't want to.
Did they
tell him that my family can't do this? He's like Air Force guy.
But he knew.
No, he didn't.
He was looking at.
He was there. He was there. No, I didn't want him to. I didn't want to give up in front of him and show him that I'm weak.
And when he would he be like, hey, when you're doing this, do this? Would you come over and be like, oh, I wouldn't do it that way?
No. He was trying to give my son pointers, but I could tell in his eyes. He's like, why are you doing this? Why did you think you could do this? But I'm like, it's fine.
It's like when Jelly Roll told me he could dunk a basketball.
I'm like,
I don't know, buddy.
I know they can't do this on the flat concrete in the $1 million Snowmass Village.
It's a brand new bike. Who would be able to ride a brand new bike with like limited bike experience?
But I bet they could.
Like in a full face dirt bike helmet.
Yeah.
You're in a zippered long sleeve shirt that's covered in pads all over chest plate and everything.
My God.
The legs are
they
all
had
covered.
Chest protectors on?
Yeah.
Oh, chest protectors.
They're just like stormtroopers.
I told
pads,
when we got dressed, I'm like, we look like RoboCop.
Yeah.
Those are not made for boobs, by the way.
No. You're supposed to cut the boob holes out. I've seen the videos.
Which is probably a tell that they've had a lot of issues. But also, I was like, they can't ride here on flat ground. You know what will help? Going up 5,000 feet into the rocks. I bet they can do it up there.
It's too smooth. Well, you know
what? It's too smooth and flat. We need to get up to the rocks.
Need something to bounce off of.
Well, I thought
you need a little something to get you going.
Yeah. The gravity will keep them moving.
Yeah. These rocks will bounce you down there good.
I'm like, maybe the fear will help them ride better. So
I'm sorry, I can't breathe.
So anyway, we get up on the ski lift, and they get in the gondola, and it takes us up right to the mid part of the mountain. So
where are your bikes?
They put the bikes in a separate gondola, like to put up there. So
that's cool, man.
We get up there, we get our bikes, and then there is.
Are you at all excited about this?
No.
We had already decided, like,
are you
not a good idea.
Where are you at, headspace?
I was trying to say to to him, calm down. We are already here.
Yeah.
We already paid. We're going to do the little baby run a couple of times. And if everybody hates it, we'll just call it a day. But we're going to at least try it. He wanted to give up. He wanted to call it before we even started. Well, and I was saying, be positive.
Belichick wouldn't do that.
You know what he does? He gets negative in his head, and then it starts giving it bad energy to everybody else.
Hey, we were doing a little of that this morning.
he's like, no.
Quit picking up my energy. I'm just staring at a screen.
It's not gonna work. Can't do it.
I'm like, how am I supposed to control the energy, the fake energy that I'm putting out?
You gotta put out the fake. You just gotta learn how to fake
put an energy blocker. You gotta take an energy blocker.
I'm not showing you. I'm just staring. And then
so
you guys are picking up.
And you know what it means.
Yeah, he's like frustrated, and you can just. And the kids pick up on it. So I'm like, it's
which
all
one
right,
picks
guys.
up on it the most, Max?
No, probably Tommy.
Yeah, because they're more alike.
And so I'm like, we're just going to try it. It's going to be great. And I asked them both, give me 3 times. Give me like 3 runs on this little baby section, right? And they agreed to give me 3. And then if they hated it, we didn't have to do it anymore.
There you go.
So we go up to like the kids section, the easiest.
It's like the learning section.
The learning, which we get up there, we're falling all over. And we're right in the grass. And then I'm like, all right.
What kind of things are you doing in the describe the baby.
Literally walking from the lift to the beginning of the trail, like, falling over, like can't hold the bike up.
Oh, right.
The kids, and then so I'm,
Were you carrying all the bikes?
No, they were trying.
Because you wanted to, didn't you?
They were, and Max was trying because Max wants to impress me more.
People pleaser, yeah.
I think than Tommy. Tommy's
he's giving up like me. Like me
but you know what's funny? Tommy was so good at it.
Yeah,
Tommy was so good. He didn't fall. He didn't put his foot down once.
Well,
he
went
got
the
down.
body geometry for it. Dude could do it.
He was good, but he hated it. And then at the bottom, he had he doesn't cry. Tommy doesn't cry, but he's like gets frustrated, red eyes, and he's like, I don't want to do it the other 2 times. And I'm like, you promised. Let's go back up and try again. Because I thought after he built confidence that he would start to enjoy it.
Huh.
That didn't happen with him.
I wonder why he didn't like it, especially if he was like decent.
I think he felt a little bit out of his control. He likes to be in control.
Oh, yeah. That's the rush that you like. You enjoy that feeling.
Well, he also realizes this is above my skill level and dangerous to probably do.
Right.
And I'm
that
not,
kicks in the caution.
Smart boy.
I'm not comfortable. Like, I don't know the gears.
I would be like that.
The gears thing, too. They've never rode a bike with gears, so they have no experience changing gears.
It's intimidating because you can mess it up.
But to be honest, you don't even have to pedal. All you have to do is ride the brakes the whole way. Well, you do not have to pedal.
Sometimes there's a little uphills that you do need to pedal. Which
I never found those. I don't think I went on that.
What side of the mountain were you on? We'll get to that. We'll get to that, yeah.
Okay.
So, anyway.
You were in a completely different area. Rocketing down the mountain. Your boys are pedaling. They're just doing the normal thing, and you're just flying.
So, we're at the midpoint of the mountain, and then Tommy's like, I'm done with this. So I'm not going to push him. Because basically from the midpoint, we have to go down
You
to
told me he did it, but he
end.
just told you. He's like, I'm out.
And then Max is like, I think I can make it from here and do the long run. It's about a half an hour of downhill, or like maybe 25 minutes. 20.
That's a long.
It's long.
It's a long run.
And from the midpoint of the mountain down to the base, right, or whatever. So then, Max is like, I think I can do it, and my buddy Alex is like, all right, let's go. So then I tell Crystal, all right.
How did he say it? Did he say, let's go? Like, did he say it like that? Because when people start saying that now, I'm anti that now. I'm anti, let's go, and I'm also anti when people say that's cringe. I'm anti both of those.
Oh.
And let's go is now cringe.
And then Crystal's like, I'll stay up here with Tommy. Maybe Tommy, after we eat lunch or whatever, he'll be willing to go down, and me and Tommy can go down, whatever. So I'm
going to guess delicious food isn't going to make him want to.
I just gave him an ice cream.
Yeah. Oh, I love a good ice cream.
So me and Max and Alex start going down the mountain, right? And I have to admit, it was more advanced than I thought it would be.
Yeah, you told me that.
And I kept telling Max, because the whole time I was terrified. Max,
stay on the edge. Stay on the edge. It's that advanced. Yeah.
So these it goes from one side to the other side, right? Like left to right, with just a little bit of grade to keep you moving. But then when you have to turn to go back the other way, the switchback is really tight. And on the other side, like down mountain, it's like a little cliff. So if you take your turn a little too wide, you're going to fall into the trees. Down. Yeah.
So it's intimidating.
Super intimidating.
That's a little intimidating. Yeah, that would scare me.
You've never ridden a bike with gears. It's too big.
You're heading downhill.
Like you're downhill.
And your dad's about to Mac-and-me you in the... Remember? Your dad's about to wheelchair Mac-and-me you off the cliff.
That is an old reference.
And you and your alien friend are going to be hurt, man.
Yeah, so like Max is nervous, and so I keep telling him like, ride the brakes, but you can't grab. If you grab a hold of the front brake,
dude, he's got tiny hands.
It's gonna launch you over because the brakes are super sensitive. By the way, like
does he know which is left and right?
Yeah,
we did teach him, yeah.
But I'm like, you cannot grab the front brake. You will launch over the handlebars off the cliff. so that's making
Mac-and-me. Don't do it.
So he's going down, and after about 20 minutes, which is a long time just riding a bike,
his brakes are red hot on fire. It looked like a NASCAR.
He's just getting tired, right? His the arms are tired, his legs are tired.
I'll be real with you.
His taint is getting rammed by every rock.
That's kind of the hardest thing, like for kids. It was the hardest thing for Macy to learn on her bike. Are handbrakes. Handbrakes are hard for kids. They got little hands.
Yeah,
they are
hard for me. I got little hands.
Like their thumb is on the back of the handlebar, and then their
you have
fingers barely reach.
You have to roll your wrist forward. It's weird.
Yeah, and like the part of it is we're not skilled enough to stand the whole time, which you need to do mountain bike. I was watching Alex.
I stood the whole time.
Well, I could stand a little bit. Anyway, the seat just rams your anus.
It pumps you.
Because you need to stand to use your knees to get, but Max is just getting rammed the entire time. And he told me, he's like, my taint. He's like, it hurts.
He called it his crotch.
Did you tell him crotch? Did he say some people like this?
So he's like, my crotch hurts, and he's wobbling, like he's tired as hell.
But he wants to please you.
So he can't.
And you're like, keep going.
No, but I'm like, we have to get down, whatever.
What can you do?
Down.
You're gonna walk?
Yeah, we can't walk. So anyway, after falling,
people do walk. I saw people when we were skiing at Sunlight.
But this is not.
We don't give up.
I saw a fat kid walk all the way down the mountain.
Yeah, but this is not like that. You're in the trees on a trail that's narrow, and if you get off your bike, somebody behind you is going to ram you. Like you cannot.
He's already been rammed.
You cannot get off. Like you have to just keep going.
So after I like the third or fourth time picking him up after he fell, I could hear him sobbing.
The helmet was muffling it.
Yeah. Which and it was just probably frustration where he's just like, so I get him on his bike. He's,
well, you did give him an impossible task.
But he did it.
I'm sweating.
Yeah,
I mean, it's miserable for me.
He didn't complain. He did cry inside his helmet to himself, but he didn't complain.
That's what Tom does at his computer. He doesn't complain either. Just sits there, cries at his computer.
Yeah.
I'm kind of impressed that he knew, okay, I don't have any choice. I have to do this, and I'm not happy about it, but I have to keep doing it. And he didn't sit there and throw his bike down and say, I don't want to stop.
Awesome.
No, he just
did it, but he was not happy about it.
Yeah, so we get down to the end, and then so we're down there, and then obviously he's like, I'm never doing that. And I'm like, touche, all right. So I call Crystal, and I'm like, we
did one of my things. Let's do one of your things.
So Crystal's like, all right, well, we paid $700 for this.
So Mama's gonna blast.
So Crystal's like, at least, like, I'm sending Tommy down in the gondola with the lunch and his bike, and then I'm gonna go down. So at least I can experience it. And then I'm like,
+1 for Tommy for getting a quiet lunch in the gondola on the way down. He's the smartest guy.
I just like to see him in there with his glasses.
Yeah, just eating his
looking
little
out the window.
Yeah. He's like, this is great. This is nice.
Now this is already an L for me. I'm mad. I'm like, I knew.
You don't really get mad though. You get more like.
It's
that energy thing. You get it's a grump energy.
Well, because I'm mad at myself because this is my fault. What am I thinking? I should have known that my sons, they never ridden a mountain bike. They never, they just ride their bike on the street barely.
Yeah,
like
but this is
not even that much.
I mean, but this is
once every 2 weeks.
The chat room is even kind of pointing out, like, is this sort of like the grit builders you were looking for, or
it doesn't seem to be working.
Oh wow! Should I mark that? Hold on, I gotta mark that.
Yeah, I think you're you're born with it, and then you're just a born.
Maybe
like
it's Maybelline. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline.
So I felt like after the 2 runs on the little kids mountain, I enjoyed it. I thought it was really fun, and I felt
you like that stuff.
Confident enough.
So you're jumping off rocks and doing flips, and you guys are doing, like doing daring
I'm like,
things.
I feel like I can do hard things. I can do this. It's I just got to be careful because I don't want to, honestly, it actually never occurred to me falling off the bike. Never once.
I don't think.
I never thought like I could hurt myself. I was thinking it was going to be hard, and it was going to hurt. I was going to get a blister on my hand, or I was going to be really sore after. It never occurred to me that I would fall off.
Well, so Daniel, can you look on YouTube and pull up Grape Lady? The Grape Stomp Lady. And then I'll tell you in my perspective. So Tommy comes down in the gondola. He gets off, and so Crystal told me like, hey, I'm gonna ride down the easy trail like you guys just to experience it. Might as well. So I'm like, okay. So Tommy,
and also I knew Max had already gotten down, so I'm like, like Max could get down, I could do it too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can't be that bad.
I wasn't concerned at all when Crystal said that she was going to do that. I was like, yes, you might as well.
I wouldn't be.
I was more trying to figure out, like, okay, when Crystal goes down, she'll probably take the boys. I'll go back up with Alex.
And ride down again.
And then, like, at least try to get my $700 worth of, riding it. Like,
you better start pedaling, homie.
This was a loss.
It wasn't $700 each.
No.
You said my $700. I just want to be clear. Yeah. It was under $700, but it was close. But because like each bike rental is like $110, the gear rental, then you got to pay the lift ticket.
Yeah, they get you
They
everywhere.
really, and then it's times 4. You don't get a discount for the kids. It really.
So
you definitely should if they don't if they go up and they don't use their time. I mean, like, you can give me $100 back. That'd be nice. Something.
Yeah.
So I buy the boys some more ice cream
to
to bribe
pump them full.
and
pump them full.
And so I'm just standing there waiting at the area where all the bikes finish, and then I'm waiting to see Crystal come around the corner, and then so I'm just standing there. So then a good amount of time has passed, and
Are you
and
on
then
your
it's still
phone?
nothing.
Are you Bovada?
No.
You trying to get a signal?
No, I'm just staring at the mountain map.
Mad Mountain.
About why
time goes extra slow.
I thought I could do this. So then I get a call. Is when the phone's ringing, and then it's Crystal. And I'm like, oh, okay, maybe she ended somewhere that I don't know. So I pick up the phone. I'm like, hello. And then I hear from far away, like muffled, what sounded like the Grape Lady.
He told me that too.
It was like that. It was.
And then I'm like, hello? And I'm like, babe, hello? I'm like, what's wrong?
That's terrifying.
And then I'm like, hello? And then she's not answering or saying, she's not responding to me.
Idiot, she's dying. You're like, why aren't you talking to me?
And then, and then it cuts off, right? So,
oh my God.
Now, a little bit of
murderer.
A little bit of backstory that I didn't know, but her watch called me when she fell, right? It's because she has on her Apple Watch an emergency.
I have that.
Yeah.
So if you fall, it'll call your emergency contact.
Yeah.
So I didn't know. I'm tumbling down.
That's amazing.
But I wasn't yelling like that lady. What is she saying? Stop, stop. I was yelling, help.
yeah. And she doesn't. I thought she was calling me on the phone. I'm like, hello? I'm like, what's happening?
That poor lady. That poor lady. Okay, you know how when you hit a squirrel, they like immediately start moving really fast? Like they pop up and start moving really fast.
Oh, that's what happened to Sabrina when she got choked out at American Combat Club.
When you get hurt, you pop up. That's how sometimes people hurt themselves worse or break their necks when they pop up because the adrenaline.
Yeah, I had a.
You're supposed to lay there.
I mean, this is super morbid, but I had a friend who got in a car accident. The airbag hit him in the face so hard it like got him an adrenaline surge, and he ran out of his car and got hit.
Oh God!
Like, because he was so
amped that you're like, oh, what's happening?
He wasn't injured in the car wreck. He was injured when he tried to cross the road. Yeah, that's a real thing.
So we'll switch to Crystal about how she fell, and then I'll tell you my side of it.
I was going down fine. Like everything was fine. I wasn't going too fast. I was, riding the brakes a little bit. I made the turns. The guy did tell me come into the turn slow and then come out of it quick. So I was doing that on every turn, every switchback, and I was like I felt like I had it. I wasn't good at it, but I could do it. And then I got down like out of the woods to the, like there was like an opening area, and I took a wide turn, like the widest turn that we'd had so far, the widest switchback. And I don't know what happened. I was on the ground. Like it happened so quick. I have this image of the ground coming at my face. So like I went down chest first, and I don't know, I tumbled or whatever.
We don't mess up those beauties.
I thought I broke my ribs because I couldn't take a breath and I couldn't move my right arm. So but I popped up and I started taking my backpack off, which I realized I was wearing a backpack.
There's a woman, she's crazy. She's got her tits out.
Everything in my backpack was crushed. I crushed the sunscreen aluminum can. I crushed my glasses, whatever. Anyway, start trying to rip it off. I'm unzipping the thing and I'm like, help, help. I started like waving my left arm around, like waiting for someone to see me, because I thought, what if I like punctured a lung or something and nobody can see me? Although I was under the gondola, so no, I wasn't. But it was in a moment of panic because I've never fallen that hard in my life. Like,
do you think Tommy was like eating a sandwich? He's like, that's funny. That looks like my mom. Like,
I was far enough away that they couldn't see me.
Okay, that's good.
But I was by myself.
That was the first thing I said to Tom. As I was like, it didn't happen in front of the boys, did it?
No, and I'm glad it didn't.
Yeah, because
I'm super glad
traumatic.
It didn't. Yeah, no, I was all by myself, and like there was no. I looked behind me on the trail, nobody. I looked in front of me, I couldn't see anybody, and I just started flailing around so that somebody on the gondola might see me and call for help. I don't know. I didn't know how long I was going to lay there, but
that's terrible.
I started trying to rip off the protective gear. And
that's what they do in the movies. In the Army, when you get shot, you start ripping all your clothing off.
I've heard that before. And then, like, they even say scuba divers, when they start to panic, they start ripping off all their gear.
Yeah.
And that, like, it's like one of the things we learned, like, don't do that.
I do it when I have to poop real bad. You just start ripping my clothing.
Take your shirt off.
I don't know. It's like you feel like constricted and confined, like, and I need to free myself of this situation or whatever. So finally, I saw a guy, like, downhill, and he waved up at me, and then I just fell over and laid there.
Oh, my God.
Until he came.
So,
this is terrible. Where are you?
In my perspective,
eating ice cream.
You're having an ice cream. That's a good line.
After I hear the grape lady, and she's like, I hear her like, like scream, like hello, and then hang up. I call back, nothing. So then I hang up. I put my phone in my pocket
quietly, and then just stare at the mountain.
And then the boys are like, "Is everything okay?" And then I'm like, "Yeah, Mom had like I think a little
too much
issue.
Ice cream. You got a tummy ache."
And then the boys are like, "All right, back to ice cream."
That's the way to keep them. Keep them in dreamland.
So then I have Crystal's track. Like I see her on the mountain, right? Yeah. I see her like
you
dot.
Track each other. Weirdos, psychopaths.
I never look at it. Crystal put it on my phone, and then I see it.
For safety.
And so I see her. She's on the side of the mountain. So I'm like, all right. I'm like, she did the grape lady, so I know it's not that bad. When you really like, if you paralyze yourself, you're.
I like that.
You're dead silent.
Well, she was able to call, so she's fine. If she wasn't able to call, complete paralysis.
Because he has no idea that was my watch that called.
Yeah. So I'm like, when.
So you're actually assuming that it's better than it may actually be because the watch actually automatically calls.
Yeah, like when you are really, really injured, like you are, you're seriously, you can't talk.
That hurts my feelings. Well, I was very injured.
You were knocked out, though. I think you say you weren't unconscious.
Yeah, unconscious, or you're paralyzed. You can't move.
I wasn't unconscious, no, but I couldn't breathe, and I was scared. I was all alone.
When you get the wind knocked out of you, or if I've broken ribs before, it's the worst. And there's nothing you can do.
But I knew it's not the end. Like I knew she may have hurt herself, even maybe broken something, but not dead.
We're gonna finish these ice creams.
Not dead or paralyzed. So it's like, at the, it's not the absolute worst.
There's nothing he could have done anyway but sit there and wait.
Yeah.
So
right.
The guy who walked up to me was a bike instructor for like a class, so he had a whole class down there waiting for me. So he came over and he helped me get up and walk down to him. Like it was like 50 yards downhill. He walked my bike down, and he helped me like get my bag off or whatever. But I can't explain to you how convinced I was that I broke my ribs. I could not move my arm and I couldn't take a breath. It was like everything I tried. Every time I moved an inch, it was like that.
Right.
Like I couldn't. It was bizarre. But my ribs are not broken. They're fine. I had no idea my knee was messed up because I walked down. I'm like, well, I'm a little bit bruised and banged up or whatever. I was just honestly so embarrassed, and I didn't cry, but I was just like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Like apologizing to all the students. Like, I'm so sorry that you have to help me. Like send the cart, get me off the mountain on the cart. It took them probably 5 minutes to get the cart to me. It felt like half an hour. But they load me on the cart, and they,
like a football player.
Yeah.
Like Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. It was like a ATV.
You put your leg up. Did you wave there? They're driving you away.
Well, I'm more concerned about how much this is all going to cost.
Yeah, I know you are.
You know, like I know. I'm concerned about my wife. Really,
Moneybags over starts running the numbers.
And this is in retrospect now. You know, at the time I was worried, but you know, so
you're like, how much are those ice creams?
So Crystal's like, finally, when she calls me, and by the way, I first go into the main office. I'm like, I think my wife hurt herself up there, and I see her daughter here, and she hasn't moved. And they're like, they were like, we called the rescue, they're not answering, so that's all we got.
All we can do. I got broccoli hair, dude. I can do nothing.
Yeah. So,
I have no skills.
So Crystal's like, meet me at the clinic, and then so we go to the clinic.
Were you in an ambulance?
No, I was on an ATV.
Like like the back of a side by side.
So they took you in a side by side to the hospital.
No.
Well,
they were going to take me to the clinic, but then I was talking to the guy because I was also worried about how much this was going to cost, and I'm like, are they just going to send me to the hospital? And he's like, yes. I'm looking at you right now. Like, they're going to send you to the hospital after they do a bunch of X-rays, and you're going to pay like twice.
Ooh, have him drive up the side by side like gang members do and just dump your body out. And then the side by side goes peeling out, and then just don't tell them who you are. But
just
they
say
have
you're
to
a bum.
treat you.
Just say you're a bum, a mountain bum.
Quick, put some dirt on your face. Okay, we're gonna dump your body out. It was a gang initiation that went wrong.
He took me all the way to my car after we decided together that we were not going to pay twice. So we went to the car, and I didn't cry. I didn't cry until he had to help me out of the vehicle, and I felt so pitiful. I was like, I don't want to. They started crying.
Oh my God!
So the guy has to fill out a report. He asks my name. I say it's Donald Duck, and then we leave. Right? So then Chris like, you got to take me to the hospital.
So sorry that you had a bad. I'm so sorry you had a bad day, Mr. Duck. I hope the rest of your visit to Colorado.
I wish somebody on the gondola had filmed me and then posted it somewhere.
Oh, you must be Daisy. I'm so sorry about your problem.
I don't know how I fell. I still don't understand. Like, did I go over the handlebars? Did I slide out from the back? Like, did I hit a rock? Did I accidentally hit the front brake? I don't know.
Did it like a blackout kind of a thing?
I just don't. It happened so quickly that I don't know the mechanics of what happened. Like, and my whole right side of my body got banged up. Like, I'm all yellow. My whole right arm is yellow and cut. My right thigh is scraped. My right ribs were hurt. My right knee is hurt. And then
If it makes you feel any better, my entire ass is always yellow bruised, like a banana.
But it's the left knee that's really bad.
Yeah.
So, like, if the whole right side of my body is what hit, I had a bruise on my face from where my glasses crushed onto my face.
Oh, nerd.
So how did my left knee get this? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm confused.
That's your plant foot that's that you tore your ACL before, and then you nailed the other side of your body. I don't know if you tore anything yet, but she's going to go to the doctor tomorrow. Anyway,
I'm sorry.
So at the Glenwood Springs Hospital, usually hospitals, I hate being in them. I hate, I'm telling you, I'm gonna tell my sons, I'm like, don't let me die in a hospital.
Okay.
Just put me outside. Let me die outside. I hate them. So I'm like, this place is like, it looks like a mountain lodge. Like it's nice. It's like views of the mountains. I'm like, not bad. Although, just like every other hospital, there's crazy people in them. There was a prisoner in there. There was a senile old man that pooped his bed that was screaming the whole time.
He was literally screaming that, and he's like, somebody's got to clean this up. And they're like, we're trying to help you, sir. You need to get back in the room. He was like covered in poop in the hallway.
That was future me. I was hanging out there. I wanted to see what was
going on. And I was just laying there scared, like...
If you're a hospital nurse, I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry that you have to go through this.
I'll kiss your face.
It's horrible. So we're there. We go to the hospital, and then the lady's like, "Oh, this is a trauma case." And then she picks up the phone, and then she's like,
she's like, "We need the trauma team in here." And I'm like, "Trauma? Am I bleeding internally?"
Well, I hear I'm like, "No,
don't trauma. There's no trauma."
I'm like, "Don't call that because that is a $25,000 phone call."
I hope it wasn't that much.
And then so the whole time they do the X-rays, the CAT, all these things.
CAT scan.
By the way, I'm sitting there silent.
I was scared because they couldn't figure out why I couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
So and like they're touching my ribs. None of them hurt to the touch, but it hurt me to breathe or move my arm.
Was that that area in there around your ribs? Did you just because I know there's in there tissue that can get inflamed?
That's what they said. Basically, is that I overextended.
That's what they tell me too. It's always tissue inflamed in me. It's never a real issue. I go to the doctor. I'm like, this is killing me.
I'm like, well, what did I come here for?
Yeah, the doctor's putting on some leg brace that I know is $700.
No, that's $1,000.
Yeah.
They CAT scanned my entire thorax, neck to pelvis.
Whoa.
And I'm like,
to make sure I didn't have any bleeds or anything.
All right.
This place is just racking the bills.
They heard that I fell mountain biking in Aspen, and they were like,
Give her the premium.
Little do they know, I don't have insurance.
The doo-doo old man and the prisoner has nothing.
They're fine.
Like that's costing us money. But this lady, this Aspen mountain biking lady, we're gonna give her the whole thing, the leg brace.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Pour Larry a crown. We're doing it.
And I can't say anything at this point because I wanted to. I'm like, she doesn't need the leg brace.
Well, you look like a real POS if you do that, dude.
But also, I'm also doing the math of like,
where are the boys?
How much did I push for this mountain biking adventure?
Yeah.
How much was it both of our decision? How much was it just me?
Oh, you were running the percentages. He was running percentages on blame.
Isn't that sad that he's even doing that?
I gotta tell you,
does it matter?
Everybody does that.
Maybe one of the only things that Tom and I have in common is I do run blame percentages all the time. All the time.
You have to run it.
I'm a king of blame percentages.
Like I'm laying there crying, and he's like trying to figure out if he should say something or not, and then doing the math on it.
Well, you shouldn't say anything. You're not going to say anything good.
How much is this going to cost me?
No, you can't say that.
In my wallet and emotionally in the future, how much is this going to cost me with the old hammer mouth?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's not happening.
This is a months of no hammer. Anyway.
He's gotten it twice.
Hey, all right. Nice.
So injured and everything. Can't even bend my knees.
Oh my God, injured on the go.
Oh yeah, I mean I have basic needs as a human.
Yeah, exactly. All you can do is lay around now, so just fall over. I'll bring it to you. I'll bring it to you. It's fine.
Yeah, I can push through anything.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Into the world.
I like
matter.
the leg brace.
Yeah,
I like the brace.
Well, you could push through anything. Well, I'm the one who's pushing through.
So anyway, so now Crystal doesn't know she's going to the. By the way, this is still gonna cost me because of the orthopedic tomorrow.
You're not even on the peak yet.
Yeah. I'll never financially recover this. Tiger King. This will be a ongoing.
This is the end of the show.
Yeah. No. Well,
it'll bankrupt the show.
Anyway,
something's not right in there though, in the knee.
What's going on with it?
It doesn't. It's not normal. Like it doesn't work.
Can you put weight on it?
Yeah, I can stand straight.
Okay.
And I can walk with the legs straight, but
can
it doesn't.
Can you flex it at all? No.
I can do like this.
Yeah.
I could bend it. How many degrees is this?
25? Not even.
But I can't bend it while I'm standing on it. Huh. And if I'm standing straight only with weight on this leg, it wobbles front to back.
Yeah, mine do that. But mine don't work. So my legs, I have like puppet legs.
Also, it hurts and is swollen.
Two more quick things before we leave.
Where were the boys when you went to the hospital?
Oh, they're
Andres picked them up.
Yeah, they're just playing video games.
Yeah, fishing, having ice cream.
Yeah. That's one thing. They're like me, where they just like, I do think they'll be fine if I die.
Dude,
they'll just forget.
I wish I had that. I can't keep Maisie out of my business. Anything, the air conditioner's messing up. I'm like, what's that noise? To Andrea, Maisie goes, what's that noise? I go up to check it, and Maisie opens the door. I found a bunch of stuff in the shower, and I was like, ew, bugs. Maisie goes charging in there to fix it.
It's like the grass is always greener, but I wish my kids would be more interested.
I want
in
your
things.
Kids. Let's switch.
My sons are home alone right now. They don't even know. They have
no idea. They don't even know that I left.
They're sleeping.
They have no idea that they're alone.
Okay, two more things you said.
Yeah, so we, before this mountain biking trip, we go to Grottoes and Devil's Punch Bowl to do some cliff jumping.
That was dope.
Which now, in retrospect,
I feel like you set the bar high because you were showing off a little bit. You're like, look at us. Look what we're doing.
Yeah. So, and that's the stuff is free that I like doing the most. And then, so we go to Grottoes, which I didn't even know you could jump off of into the pools. It's basically like levels of waterfalls into rock pools.
It's called the Cascade.
How cold is the water?
It's freezing.
Daniel, I think my body thought it died when I hit that water because
50 is cold.
I couldn't take a breath, and I suddenly didn't feel anything, and all senses were lost, and I didn't know where I was. The people were yelling at me, swim, swim, and I was like, huh?
I bet it would have felt great on that leg, though.
I know.
If you could go back there, just throw the leg in there.
So we get to the Cascades of Grottos, and then I see a young guy,
stud,
jumping off, and he's doing flips, and there's a bunch of people watching him,
showing off,
and he's the only one doing it, right? And which my friends,
this is what gorillas do, right?
I dubbed him Young TC.
Yeah.
But this
is what gorillas do. The older gorilla shows up, and he sees the one gorilla jumping off the rock, and he's like, well, I got to go up there and show him that I still got it.
And so we're watching them, and I'm looking down. It's a little sketchy. Like, there are rocks all around. He's jumping, like, basically into whitewater. You can't tell what's underneath there. You just have to.
That's the best part of whitewater. You can't tell what's underneath there.
And then I heard some people saying, oh, yeah, it's the whitewater. That's the deep part. That's where you know there's no rocks. And them's like, all right.
Well, what if I aim wrong and I hit over there a little bit?
And
that's not true for all whitewater. I just want to make blanket statement.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
I'm not
true.
I'm not from this place. I have no,
Right, but he did it a few times, and we were like, all right,
So and then
I think I got the gist of this.
And so he's seeing people walk. He's like telling other people. Told Fernando. Fernando's sitting there, and then he's like, "Hey, you want to go? You should go do this.
You want to do it, or you're too chicken?"
Yeah. He was a nice kid.
He wasn't one of those
He
guys.
was trying to encourage other people to do.
His buddy told us he was a YouTuber.
Oh,
like
really?
he's a YouTube influencer. I have no idea.
I wanted to look him up.
My God, you should got his ad.
I tried to Google his picture, Google image his picture.
Andres called him Giga Chad.
Oh, that's bad.
He wasn't a Giga Chad at all.
I don't know.
That's a bad
That's what we've known him as, Giga Chad. So Giga Chad is telling Fernando, like, hey, you could do it, old man.
Yeah.
Even though he was being nice.
Yeah, do it for the clicks.
So then I was like, well, I'll do it.
I knew you would do
So
that.
then I take off my shirt and I got my board shorts underneath my pants. I take those off.
He was ready with his board
And
shorts.
so then
just in case there's something to jump off of.
So
Got
because we were going to Devil's Punch Bowl to jump later, I didn't know we were going to jump here, but I was like, well, he's doing it, I'll do it.
Another jump? Don't mind if I do.
So the problem is, to even get to the rock he's jumping off, you have to jump over a rushing river that goes off a waterfall.
Okay,
with rocks and like underneath. So, and the jump is about like, I would say 9 foot, right? 9 foot gap. You have to jump from one rock to another.
Sure.
Underneath the gap is just rushing whitewater with rocks.
9 feet gap.
And then a waterfall after that. Now, not a deadly waterfall. You'd probably just get washed
you hurt
up,
yourself
scrape.
on those rocks.
You'd fall down the waterfall, scrape yourself. Everybody would be. My friends would laugh at me. Anyway, so I go up there, we climb up, and he leaps over effortlessly.
Yeah.
He's 22.
Like a fairy.
Giga Chad.
Yeah, like Peter Pan.
Yeah, he leaps over, and he's like, yeah, just jump over. So I take a beat. I
don't know nothing about that.
And so then, at this point in time, Crystal's like, well, I'll do it too. And then so I was like, all right, that's my backup. I'm like, I gotta help my wife. I can't. I'm like, hold on, sir.
All your vacations are just daring each other to get hurt.
I'm like,
I just don't want, I don't want to not be able to do something that my husband can do.
Oh, you guys are gonna hate old age. It's coming for you.
That's how I'll die.
Maybe that'll keep us going.
That's the Van way. It's like,
you're gonna do this? Well, I'm gonna do it.
It's like Lieutenant Dan. All his ancestors died in the war. Like, I'll die doing something that
I'll die flipping next to a Giga Chad.
Yeah.
It's an honorable way to go. Did you get that on YouTube?
By the way, side joke, my son Tommy we joked around about me getting killed by a grizzly bear because I told him, I was like, well, if a grizzly bear ever did come out of the woods, I'll rush towards it and save my family and you guys can run away. And then Tommy's like, well, then I'll get a tattoo on my arm of a grizzly bear.
He's the best. Tommy's the best.
We all get a good laugh at that.
Yeah.
And anyway, back to the Giga Chad. So he's like, well, you can get out this other thing. You can walk, like, basically jump to the smaller rock.
There's the easy way out, or there's the way that Giga Chad does
Yeah,
it.
but even on the easy way.
Yeah, so on the easier way, you have to jump down to a small, by the way, rushing water underneath you. Anyway, I get down, and then he reaches his hand out. I didn't want to do it, but I had to take the Giga Chad's hand, and then he had to lift me up, which I felt,
Never give a Giga Chad your hand.
It was very. He was like, "Come on, don't worry." He
You
crouched
should
down.
have
He
died.
reached his hand out.
I like that move. I like that move where you are so prideful that you have your hand out, you're about to grab it, and you're like, "No, I'd rather die." And then you know what you do? You just slowly kill yourself. You just slowly go into the water and hold your breath till you die. You have to do it slow too. You have to go like.
Then I tumble off the waterfall, and then the whole crowd is screaming in horror as they watch me drown.
Quite a crowd.
Yeah. The
and
kids,
then your son would get a waterfall down there. It's a little more approachable. A beautiful cascading waterfall all down his arm.
So I grabbed his hand. He helped us both up. He helped Crystal, and then we get up on the rock and we jump off.
I think it's cool.
I think I did it by myself. I think I remember doing it by myself.
No,
you guys are doing a great job.
I helped you.
It was cool watching you guys jump off the ride. It looked super fun. It looked like awesome.
It was exhilarating.
Nobody else did it, just you guys?
Just me and Crystal.
Does it put any heat on the rest of the guys?
They don't care. They're normal. They're normal 40-year-old dads that are like, we don't have to prove anything. We don't want to die in front of our kids.
I noticed that during that
we
time,
don't care
I saw
about Giga
Fernando
Chad.
is just standing there holding a drink like the whole time.
Yeah.
Later, though, he did say, like, man, I should have done that.
Okay. You don't want to regret it. You don't want to regret it.
But it's not that much regret. And then we went to Devil's Punch Bowl. Then I jumped off this big-ass cliff, which I saw other people do, and I was confident.
Which one were you flipping? That was cool.
Well, that was a smaller one, the max jump off. Yeah, we did some cliff jumping. Although, every time I jump off this, I'm like, I don't know, I could be in the wrong place.
Stop right there. You said, every time I jump off this, I say, I don't know. You can stop right there. I don't know.
Like, when I'm leaving the rock, I'm like, I could be
rocketing towards a boulder.
And then, the whole family's got to watch me die, in here because I'll be rushed down the waterfall again.
But it means something to you.
Right? face down the waterfall.
But it means something to you, right? There's something in you that makes it like you're like, I like this.
So we'll end with the last day at the airport. So
Let's start with the day before the last day.
Would you poop your pants again?
No, but
Sorry.
so Friday is the day that I fell and hurt myself. And Saturday, he allowed a day of rest and recovery.
Oh, how benevolent of God to allow a rest day.
But on Sunday, he's like, we got to do something. Let's go. So we got in the car. We drove an hour and 45 minutes.
This dog's got to run.
To this place called Grand Mesa. And we walked around for hours. And I walked, and it felt good to walk, actually. But then on Sunday, or was it Monday? Monday was the day before we were leaving. I'm like, we have to pack. We have to clean this whole entire house. We just had, how many people were there? 16 people at the house for, 10 days or whatever. Like, we had a lot to do. And he cannot just sit and do nothing for one day. He made us all get in the car and drive down to the local park and swim in the river. And I'm sitting there the whole time, like,
you're an animal.
I know it's like,
slave
Colorado,
driver.
we have to see it. I'm like, you can't just sit in the house.
I know, but
You're
I'm
watching
like,
YouTube.
I'm hurt, and
I'm like, you know what this guy's buddy did?
Yeah, I want to watch the guy flipping on YouTube. I want to watch the guy doing the.
No.
I
can barely,
Giga Chad. I just added him.
So and then I got in the river with Tommy, which was a little sketchy because no one else was doing it. I was like, we're gonna, die out here.
Just can't let one day go by.
Anyway, at the airport, we're at Atlanta Airport.
And you're like, what's the most extreme way to do this airport?
No.
Yeah. Start jumping off the trash cans.
Which is the sketchiest bathroom? We're going to poop in the toilet that has the most deuces in it.
We get out of the
extreme dad.
The tram, the underground tram.
It's gonna make me sound so bad.
And to go to our section, and then we have to go up 2 escalators, right? And this crowd, it's the Atlanta Airport.
And you're like, I don't do escalators. Where are the stairs?
And so we're waiting in line, and then all of a sudden we hear like a commotion and a crowd like, oh my God! And then some
there's like screaming. And then there's a commotion at the base of the escalator.
A fat old man fell down.
That's me.
And his wife.
And like he fell.
Old people, like 80 years old.
That's Andrea.
He fell on his wife, and then the escalator was grinding him good.
Oh my
right?
God!
And so they're like screaming, like ah!
Yeah, it's a meat grinder. It'll kill you.
You remember seeing that lady, the old lady that fell in the escalator and was tumbling?
Yeah.
And then they couldn't.
Was that.
Yeah,
so,
it's a screensaver on my computer.
So people are screaming, and then they stopped the wrong escalator. They stopped the left one, and the people are still tumbling down to the right one.
Typical government, right? Typical.
So everyone's like, stop the other one, and they stop the other. So now both escalators are stopped, right?
Oh God.
And so now the people on the left escalator are just standing there watching, looking at the old man and his wife, and they're falling over, and they're trying to pull them up.
Two separate escalators side by side. The one on the left is just stairs now.
Yeah.
Right? The one on the right, okay, I get it. Like, don't push the people out of the way. Like, give them help. But on the left, everyone is just rubbernecking. You're just stopped and looking.
I mean, I would want to watch the old people get grind.
I would watch. Already stopped. Now people are just helping them stand and gather their bags, and still nobody's moving on the left.
Oh, yeah, you mean they should be walking?
Yes,
yeah, okay.
Start walking.
Yeah. So the left escalator stopped because they hit the emergency, and everybody's just standing there. And the right escalator, obviously, the old people have fallen down, and they're trying to help them up. But now another train has come, and there's a huge crowd behind us.
Did you do citizen's arrest?
No. 15 Mississippis. And this is what it seemed like to me. Everybody's sitting in silence, and Crystal's like, keep walking.
I said, I screamed, can you people start walking?
I would do that too.
And then TC was like, oh,
oh my gosh, she went too extreme.
Me and Tommy and Max, we were just like, oh, but we're never those lady.
You know what happened?
Done.
Hey, you know what happened?
Like, let's get moving.
You know what happened? Everybody started walking after that. It's like you're like, everybody's stopped and staring at this train wreck that's happened, and nobody realizes there's a crowd building behind you. People still have planes to catch. Now we have to walk up this escalator. I'm hobbling too. Like, get moving. You know, you just need someone to snap them out of it.
Yeah, that's true.
They all started walking.
And then they were
after.
like, "Oh yeah, she's right."
It's herd mentality. Somebody needs to blow the whistle or whatever.
Yeah, but you know what I do? I let someone else do it.
Yeah, but you can be. What someone else did. Someone else did. You just don't want it.
Not my wife. Yeah. I don't want to.
What about me? What if it were like Dennis's with vans, which we've done before? And because I will say that. You know I will.
Yeah.
I say things all the time.
But you're not my wife. Like at least I can.
So that's okay.
I can look at you like a stranger. Like, what's this guy doing?
This guy crazy midget.
Yeah. You like when it's my wife, I have to be. And they're like, you're the evil one too.
You're just like her. I see it in your eyes.
Anyway, so I'm sorry you got hurt.
But I'm gonna keep doing it.
No, I did learn my lesson.
Are you dialing back here?
Listen, that 700 is going to turn into a good, cool 30,000.
Yeah, that's an easy.
Because I know I'm going to need surgery on this knee. No, let me not put that out there.
Get some plates.
I might not.
Maybe
it'll just heal and start bending again by itself.
That happens.
Yeah, luckily you don't have to pay medical bills. That's what I did in my trashy youth.
Yes, you do.
You just
get on a payment plan.
I'm not paying my hip injection. I'm
still
fighting it. I'm still fighting it.
Yeah, if you just never pay it, it goes away.
$4,000 hip injection didn't even work.
Anyway,
I'm glad you're okay. That was scary.
It could have been worse. I did think, I was like, man, what if this was worst case scenario, like you're injured forever? You know what I'm saying? Like now it's like, you walk a little funny forever over something stupid.
I walk a little funny forever?
No, I'm just saying if you did.
It did sound like you said.
I just need to be able to ski. If I could ski.
It did sound like you said that she is going to be walking funny.
No. I was like, what if that would happen?
You can get a cane with a sword in it. That's what Chris Kirkpatrick from NSYNC did when he got hurt.
No. Come on.
Everyone likes a sword cane.
You know, the people at the hospital said you really dodged a bullet because usually when we see mountain biking accidents, there's like teeth missing or bones sticking out of the leg or... whatever. So they're like, you just got a bunch of soft tissue injury.
We found these dolphin teeth in the woods.
My teeth.
No, that's your own. I'm sorry. I don't forget anything.
Who found Puff Daddy? The BART Merrick team, Crystal Vann, her cell phone is on.
I'm still able to work, so have me over.
She
Come take a look at your house.
Hey,
she could show you a house while she walks from you.
Yeah, we'd like to see that.
Yeah. So sorry, baby.
I will not be going upstairs. You'll tour the upstairs by yourself.
With a limp.
If it gives you any recourse, I'm gonna pay dearly for it.
It's bad.
Eventually, my mentality.
But you've already got 2 hammer rounds. That's pretty good.
No.
Have I made you feel bad about this at all?
I mean, not. No, you didn't.
Was she giving off any of the energy we aforementioned?
No. But I feel like when she's like, "Oh, my leg," that's
your fault. Yeah. So every time she says that, it's like,
If I have to get up off the couch and I go,
Yeah.
then he thinks that's like I'm
I feel like you're telling you, like, don't you know to suffer in silence? That's a rule in the Van household. You can't make any noise or tell me.
God forbid you get a freaking cold. You're over there. Your nose isn't even stuffy, and you're whining about having a cold.
All right.
Listen. All right. What's your next adventure? That's a good ending.
We haven't started.
But
the Tom and Dan cruise is coming up.
You always have one loaded.
No, there's nothing to do.
Oh, now are you going to be reckless? Are you going to be restless on the boat? You're like, all we have to do.
We probably can go scuba diving. The Bahamas, they don't check nothing.
I can't carry all that weight.
Yeah, they'll put it on you in the water.
Yeah, they put it on you in the water.
Yeah. I just have to tip them $5.
Yeah, they'll actually scuba dive for you. Just hold the regulator in your mouth. You just swim around.
All right, we'll see you next time.
Oh, that was super funny. Jesus. Let me save that. Science Center is running a little bit late.
All right.
10 minutes, but we should still be good. Thanks for doing that, Crystal. Yeah, I'm glad you're okay. Sorry about your bruising. That sucks, dude. Shit sucks.
That's all right.
That's Friday.
Is the camera
It's Friday,
on?
Yeah.
Can I show the video of Max on his little
The camera is on.
giant bike?
It's humongous. It's a very large bike.
If I do like this.
Those bikes are cumbersome.
Well, it turns out you need to know something.
Oh, yeah, there he is.
It's out of focus, huh?
But he's like, there he is. Now you got him in focus. He's got you can see that his little feet don't even.
Is it frozen?
It's not playing.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. I feel like an old.
There you go. Yeah, like when you take a sharp turn, he's having to put his foot all the way down, and that's just.
Why does it stop there? Oh, it's the end of the video.
Uh-oh. Hi, Grandma.
Oh, my
8, 24.
Oh, well.
At least she can walk.
At least I can walk.
1,
Yes,
2, 8, 9, 24, 63 minutes. All right, I gotta make sure the air is working because it got hot in here. I think because it always turns off.
What do you have to do now?
Go home and watch my children. Maybe pick up some school supplies at Walmart.
Okay.
They have haircuts at 2:30.
2:30.
Yes. Tonight is the first breakdancing in the Olympics, too. Bye, Daniel. Bye. All right, I'm going.
All right, thanks, man. Bye.
That's funny.
Yeah, hopefully that was a good show.
Yeah, it was real good. Good job. Science Center's up next. I started to get hot.
All right.
April, Jennifer, I'm guessing Choi. But we will ask. I'll ask.
Don't forget about my cuss word. Ow! Don't forget my cuss word.
Oh, that's fine. This is not going to get aired on the radio anyway.
Yeah, you're good.
Because Friday they preempted the radio show with a game.
So what was that all for?
We're going to put this out on podcast for corporate time. Yeah.
Okay,
bye.
Where is Ayuk gonna go? You think? You think he'll stay with the 49ers?
Yeah. They do this thing where I seen them do it twice before. Who else they did it with? Jonathan Taylor. When they some players complain about their contracts or they want to get paid more, and then the team's like, "Go shop yourself out, see what else, who wants you, right?" And then I was like, a bunch of teams are like, "We'll give you this or whatever," and then like the player's like, "I don't want to play there," and then and just to show them that they're hey, we're not, you got it good here or whatever.
Yeah, they focus on
because apparently the Patriots offered him way more money, but he didn't want
to be there. Yep.
Yeah, because he wants a chance to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like, why?
Because you'll never. No. The Patriots aren't winning a Super Bowl for 10 years.
I mean, you can say whatever you want, but at least not next year. You're gonna be.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you added other things,
career.
I'm just saying, like, with the things you can control now, with that set team, and you had to add him, that's not. You need way more than that.
Yeah.
Are the Bucs defense still really, really good? They got that one guy. Who's that? Isn't he considered like the best edge rusher in the game?
Worst.
Yes.
I think Tristan Worst is a offensive lineman.
Yeah.
But they
may have a good edge. I'm just now doing my prep.
The problem with Tampa is going to be their offensive coordinator left. So there's people that believe that Baker Mayfield's success was because of that offensive coordinator. So now a new offensive coordinator comes in with the Bucs. Is Baker Mayfield going to have the anomaly success? Because people didn't expect that from last year.
I like the story of Baker Mayfield in Tampa. I think that's fun.
So now their team is somewhat the same. They did lose some pieces and stuff. They're still going through the cap problem because of Brady and that team they put together. So my expectation for Tampa is going to be that they are going to do worse this year.
And then you got Dak, who's on the last year of his contract, and then he'll be a free agent at the end of 2024.
Yeah.
And the narrative they're spinning there is that he's overpaid for his talent.
Yes.
And that will Dallas eventually cut it loose so they can retain some of their other stars and find a different quarterback solution. At least that's what I was reading this morning.
Yeah, but
I can't see that happening.
No, because at this point in time, like, to find a quarterback, it's a fucking crapshoot. That's the thing. It's like, okay, everybody wants to say like, oh yeah, it's tank, so you get you draft a quarterback first round, a good one. Well, that is a 50-50 or maybe less. I don't know what the percentage is that quarterback coming out of college is even going to be good. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you're just hoping to get
that
fucking Mahomes.
Remember, we did that article
anomaly
where I forget some statistician broke that down, like about the.
It's a crapshoot.
Yeah, the likelihood of it, and it's actually not. Typically, doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, there's been. I mean, look. Bryce Young on the Panthers hasn't played well, and he was obviously first round huge prospect. Caleb Williams is surrounded by an insane Bears team, but there's no guarantee he's going to do well.
I'm itching for football. I'm excited about it. Madden should come out Friday, I think. That'll be interesting to see how that goes. All I get now is Falcons news because as you get closer, like the little things I put in my news to read, it's just getting like ratcheted up. So everything's been Kirk Cousins news, nothing but. All right. Does Jeff like being on camera?
I don't think he cares.
I mean, he can do both, but
we'll probably stick to April.
Okay. Jordan Foley has got the address. He'll be here at 1:30.
Okay.
Or is it 1? I think it's 1. Yes, 1 p.m. Yes, but don't. Come on. You guys, seriously, don't do that. He reads the chat room. They're already starting with jelly roll jokes. God damn it, you motherfuckers. Don't do that. Have some fucking... You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that to your grandma. If your grandma came in here and sat down, you'd be like, oh, it's this fucking old bag. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do it.
It would be funny if you called her Jelly Roll, though.
Him?
No, the grandma.
Welcome.
You look like Jelly Roll, Grandma.
Is there? Let's see if we can find a grandma that looks like Jelly Roll. I love making Jelly Roll jokes because he's everywhere. That's the only reason I like doing it. He's a sweet man, a lovely person.
Yeah.
But he's just an easy target. He's a big fat guy with tattoos all over his face.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's just some of those things make me laugh.
He knows how big he is.
Oh yeah, he knows. Yeah. And he also knows how much money he's pumping into his bank account right now. We got this is our last thing before lunch, correct?
Yeah.
Hey, here's something. Wait, go ahead.
No, I said this will be for Thursday 1.
Okay.
And then we'll just see how long we'll do a half an hour or whatever, and then we'll just go back and finish the last 10 minutes.
Perfect. So you know the lady that hit my car, and then I had to get the cops, and then we had to go track her down, and then she screamed, "I'm a good person." She's the head of my daughter's PTA, and so she sent an email from her personal email.
Yeah.
Like saying like fundraising and everything. I was like one of the first ones to sign up with like extra donations. So like, hi, remember me? And I signed up.
No.
That's dope, right?
Well,
I'm like, hi.
Are you
I know I did
trying to get her?
Yeah, we just get under his skin, just a little under the skin, you know. Nothing. I'm not getting her. It's helping out the PTA. It's a little passive aggressive, but it's just I was one of the first ones, and you could add a note. And I added, hey, remember me? Is that bad? We could talk about it.
No, she'll rue the day.
Yeah. She doesn't understand that now she took the place of somebody I've been hating for like the last 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
I only have enough place to hate one person at a time, and I slid him
forever.
out. I slid him out, and I put her in. So it's good. Like a weight off my chest. That story still drives me. I think about that because I can't wrap my brain around not admitting you did something.
Well, people, they don't want to take accountability.
I guess I should fix that for you guys, huh? See if that helps. I get to go supposedly get my hair cut at John's new spot tomorrow. He's out of that old building.
Oh, we could do 10 minutes. I got something about the Olympics.
Let's do it. Here we go. I like not wasting time. Here we go. I'll bring us back. Is this a coming back?
Yeah, coming. We'll just add this to the end of this April interview. So
okay.
Here we go.
Here we go. 3, 2. Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
So I'm watching the Olympics last night, which I am enjoying.
I love it.
I haven't been watching it, but then we've been watching the past couple days, and I'm like, this is awesome.
Andrea got me into it years ago, and I've kind of always watched. It's nice to have it on in the background. The stories are good.
So I'm watching the men's 200-meter final, right? And it includes the fastest people in the world, and then that one USA, the new fastest human alive, which is the Team USA guy. I forgot his name. But
I'm blanking on him.
He barely beat Team Jamaica.
Yeah, but he got him by a toe.
So I'm watching this, and then they have all the runners, and it's insane how fast they run, and in the equipment that they have now is top notch, right?
Some weird ass shoes, man.
And I'm guessing sponsors give them all the best equipment because this worldwide, for the marketing.
Well, a lot of it too. It goes even deeper than that. I believe there's an article I was reading in the New York Times about sports science and the fact that a lot of things that we don't even know about are tried at the Olympics because it's sports science. It's
like Nike is giving them the best running suit that experimental. It probably is $10,000.
The same coatings as satellites. We've heard. Yeah.
So I'm watching
woven with copper and different synthetic threads that we can't even get our hands on.
And all the runners have obviously the best running suits that science has to offer, right? Even for every country.
Did it make you think about how that would in any way implement when you were just because you did do a running sport? Did you think about the gear though it does matter though? The gear matters, especially when you get to that level because they're all the best of the best, so it's millimeters at that point.
No. I mean, you saw how he won the gold. We're talking about a hundredth of a second
it's the
difference.
Way he kind of pushes his body out.
I mean, so close. So they need every tiny advantage, a wind resistance, all this stuff. So anyway, they're wearing the most expensive running track suit that the world has to offer, right?
Yeah, it's there.
So with that, they still have to safety pin a piece of paper with their name on it on the front.
Right.
But why not?
So you're asking why?
Just print their name and the Paris Olympics on the suits, which I'm sure were given to them for free by Nike or whoever.
Look, I know you hate tradition. I'm trying to figure this one out.
It's safety pin,
But I know you hate tradition. But maybe that's just the way it's going to be.
Yeah, but when I do the local charity 5K, I have to safety pin a piece of paper to my
It's the great
big
equalizer.
No, but why are they doing it at the Olympics?
I can't give you an answer for that. I don't have an answer for that.
Because it's not like
tradition is what I want to go to.
But you could. The tradition is just really having their name and but it has to be the paper and the safety pin.
First answer I would give you is not everybody that goes to the Olympics has enough money to get their number supplemented on their suit. I don't think they do.
But the finalists for the fastest men in the world.
But it has to be even. You can't have, no, these guys can print it on their suit, and you guys have to use the paper. It has to be something that I'm giving you a real answer, and you're going to hate my answer.
I know.
But I think I'm answering it correctly. I think it's because not everybody, not all athletes have Nike in their back pocket. You got some guys from Mumbai. He's fast, but he's like, I got Jerry's Shoe Shop sponsoring me.
Yeah, but once they get to the final, can't they all have expensive suits with their name in the Paris Olympics?
That would be different.
Supplement printed.
Then all races aren't the same.
No, but at the end, because if that paper doesn't actually do anything, I got a lot of if Nike spent $10,000 on that running suit for every micro like for no wind resistance, but you're putting a paper with a safety pins.
All of the and thank you to the chat room for giving Jerry Shoe Shop a shout out because they are a great shoe shop in Mumbai. My point is that like maybe they could use cloth. No, I think it's an accurate. I think it's actually a decent question because like. Why haven't they used cloth or why haven't they used that? Like,
well, that's the standard.
I don't know.
Paper with the safety pin in every charity race and all these everybody, even the marathon, the Boston, everybody gets the paper.
I do like it when you win, you rip it off and then you hold it up. I like that move.
But all I'm saying is they're really the Olympics probably continue to thrive because of the worldwide attention. And people like, NBC gets a lot of ratings. There's a lot of money involved, like
tons.
Billions of dollars in advertising with this whole run, like with this much time of like commercial play and with like people are watching it more than any time in network TV, right? It's like probably got similar ratings to huge sports events. So all I'm saying is like at the final race, like the world is watching, like people want to see the fastest 200-meter man race. It's like just give them the
is it as simple as money? Is it money? Is it just money?
No,
is that the answer? It's just money.
I think each one of those athletes could easily request Nike to give them another suit with their name printed on it.
Not every athlete is sponsored though.
Everyone that got to that final is the fastest of that world. Like
I understand. I understand, but I don't know if all of those guys. I can't accurately say that. I don't know if everybody in the final has a big name sponsor that I would like to think that they would have somebody that would pony up to do that.
I think they all have companies giving them the suits because every big company, like Reebok, Nike, any running company that produce that will give them the suit to wear because it's marketing.
I don't want to fall into that trap of saying I think that. You see what I'm saying? Like I don't know.
Well, I don't think they're buying it themselves because like at that level.
But think about the question you're asking. There's got to be a reason why they still use paper. Right?
There is, but I'm saying it's stupid.
Okay, that's easy. Then you should just say that.
This
Let's
is all
start
for that.
there.
When I ask a question, just assume
that you think it's stupid.
That I'm thinking it's stupid that this is happening. And then I think, does anybody else think this? Does anybody else see the paper and then look around and laugh and be like,
I can answer that question. The chat room, there were multiple people that said yes, they absolutely thought the same thing.
Oh, okay.
And I'll tell you my real answer when you said that. It's the first time I'd ever thought of it. So those are real. These are real people giving you real. And these so there are more of you than there are of me. I don't see a lot of people in the chat room saying what I said because as soon as you said that, I was like, oh, that's a really good idea. Why don't they do that?
Hey, because it's funny because they're all warming up, and then like this guy who, and by the way, the person that won the fastest 200-meter. I don't know if you saw this race.
Was this the two guys that were really, really good, and then the come from behind American that just blew their doors off?
With a gold grill. Did you see that guy?
That guy's dope.
Yeah, so that guy like gold grilled himself. Seriously, we were watching the whole family watching.
It's amazing.
We got the boys in. We're like, watch this race.
Yeah.
And so there were 3 Americans in the race, and we thought one of them had a chance to win, but the other 2 were way back. So this guy with the gold grill, I forgot his name, but he's in like 4th place, and we're like, oh no, like no American's gonna even podium. And then he literally he started like he's like
grill power.
Yeah, grill power. And then like that move where it looks like your last like 5 steps you're about to finish, like you give it all,
you're falling
and
forward.
You're falling forward. Yeah. He did that for like 200 feet, like 200 feet.
It is. You gotta go. If you haven't seen this video, you gotta go look it up.
Yeah. I'm telling you, the last 200 feet, he gold grilled himself to win the race, and I was like, oh my god, we were freaking out. And then after he's like doing like, and then they interviewed him, and I was like, oh my god, like this, like he, probably grew up in a certain situation. You'll tell.
Yeah. Well, I think his teeth were telling you that, right? I don't think I think we knew what we got.
And but this guy, I mean, and then he literally, I've never seen someone will themselves to win that much.
Right?
It's
powerful.
Crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's super powerful that he was able to do that, and pretty amazing that like that one's interesting too, because I like it when the favorites don't win. I like that. Like I think that ends up being the most fun part, is when like you end up having some weird come from behind. The one race I'm talking about, the 2 guys were talking smack like all week, and then it was just like another guy who just came from behind and ended up winning. And neither of the guys ended up, I think maybe one of them, the guy from England, placed.
Yeah.
The other guy, I want to say he was from Brazil or France or something. They had been like beefing the whole week, and none of them like did anything. Like you see a lot of that too. I'm watching the Simone Biles interview right now. Or not interview, rather, the miniseries, on Netflix. And they show the moment that she freaked out. I'm just at the beginning where, like, she's supposed to do this brand new trick that nobody's ever seen before. It's got this crazy name. She goes to do it, and then she does, like, something very simple. And everybody's like, whoa. Like, you even hear they start with the commentary, and the guy's like, wow, we've never seen her do that before. And then they zero in on, like, her eyeball and kind of, like, to show her anxiety.
Yeah,
dude, it gave me chills. And then she was talking about how her brain and her the physicality of her muscles and her strength. She's so powerful.
Yeah.
And then she was talking about she couldn't get it to connect. Like it wouldn't. It was like it was broken. And then that's how they started. They're like, something is broken. They talk about her mind disconnecting from like her being able to perform.
Yeah, they call
it looks really good. I can't wait to dive into it.
They called like the spinnies or something like that.
The yips.
Twisties.
The twisties.
Twisties. Our
Thank God we have smart guests that come in.
Let me just, I was close.
You can't let it go. You can't let it go.
I was right there.
All right, we got to get out of here, right?
Yeah. We'll see you tomorrow.
Awesome. Good to see you guys. What's up? How you doing? You're fine.
Good to meet you.
Don't even sweat it. Let me save this, and I'll come say hi. And then I'll use the restroom, and then we'll get moving.
Yeah, no problem.
Hi. Daniel, nice to meet you.
Hi, Dan.
Very nice to meet you. Pleasure.
No, this is our last stop.
Okay, cool.
Here, y'all.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Where's that goatee? That's Thursday.
That Thursday too, yeah.
We had a morning media thing that actually ran a lot longer than I thought.
Don't
it would.
even.
Oh yeah,
sweat
no.
it.
Wow, I appreciate you guys being cool.
Well, we try to always be because we understand that humans, it was a Golden Girls. There was a Golden Girls like performance, and they brought us some amazing fans. 8:24. I just need to use the restroom real quick.
Yeah, no worries.
And then we'll get cranking. You guys need anything like a wire?
You don't mind me using the bathroom?
Yeah, go for it.
Go ahead. Yeah, hit it. You're more than welcome. You been good, Jeff?
Yeah, staying busy.
Oh,
Yeah.
At another time when I was driving by when the weather was looking a little weird and I saw that parking garage start to get swelly.
We are the parents' best friend on a rainy, hot Saturday.
100%. Yeah.
Especially the heat has got to drive a lot of traffic.
Yeah, there's just a lot of folks looking for an option that's inside.
And it's centrally located.
That everybody can enjoy. That's not too expensive. That's not too crazy.
Last name Choi. Choi. All right.
Jennifer Choi.
Good to know. Don't want to mess that up.
She is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, like,
love talking to her.
So many different things on the list. Almost too many things to talk about.
Yeah, she's really cool.
She doesn't seem satisfied with how cool she is. Always makes it better. It seemed like I was going through the list. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You can do this. You can do this. You can do this.
And just the science background with the whole circus performer thing.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Engineering plus motorcycles plus bass plus science and then whips and violin and then I gotta do more. Yeah, like I was looking. You do look at the list of somebody that accomplishes so many things, or is so talented in so many areas, and you're like, oh my God. Chat room says that's no jelly roll. These guys are doing their jokes about. We have a guest that comes in, who's a country western singer, and they always call him Jelly Roll, and they're trying to be mean, and they think they're Weisenheimers in there with their shtick.
Oh, people are so clever.
No, I just give them shit because they give us shit. They love us the most. They're there every single day. So these people, they're good folks.
Oh, good. As long as people can roll with it.
Yeah. Most people do pretty good.
Good to hear because
most people do.
The ones that don't, it's no fun.
Yeah, we could get rough on you too if you're too sensitive about stuff,
Tom. How are you, buddy?
Good, good. We just got back from a little vacation.
Oh, that's
so.
right. You guys were off last week.
Yeah. Daniel was in Georgia, and I went to Colorado for a week or so.
Nice.
So.
Colorado's gorgeous.
Yeah. Forget. Like I was looking at the weather, I was like, it's 92 there as well, but it's a different 92. You know, in the it's cold at night and cold in the mornings. It gets 92 at like 3:30. So it's like. Then we went to some place called Grand Mesa National Park, and it was in the 60s up there because it's 10,000 feet of elevation. Yeah. So I'm like, man, it's real nice. You know, it's like 65. I'm like, we're doing some hiking trails with my kids, and I'm like, I'm like, people live this way like year round, or it's just. Although in the winters, their summer is just insanely cold.
Right.
But then that's when I realized, like, that's why snowbirds. Travel. They follow the weather. You know,
right.
That's a good life.
Let me turn on Jeff's camera here. There he is. You can see him. I wish I could do that. My hands are too small. I can't do the fold. My wife can do it. I can't do it. Yeah, that where you get the noise. You get the fan action. I can't do any of that. Oh wow! Look at that. All right. All right. Let me turn on Jeff's microphone. Can you hear yourself at all, or talk to me, Jeff?
Test 1, 2.
You're good. I got you.
And if you want headphones, they are right.
Yeah, but you'd have to take your hat off, and I like the way you look, so you don't need to do that. But whatever you're more comfortable with, we just
if you do want them,
try to make it easy.
If you do, I'll just put it in there.
There you are.
Hear myself through my head.
Yeah, I think you'll be all right.
Perfect.
And I can
Move this over.
Yeah, as long as you're like about that close to it, you should be okay.
Okay, so let me
Thank
get,
you so much.
Are you moving the camera?
And you can move that guy. Yeah, I'll move the camera with you too. Yep. Boop, boop. There we are.
So
Get this shot
like
here. Good.
this.
Yeah, perfect.
All right. Mr. Vann, would you like to begin?
Yep.
Here we go. In 3, 2.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
So it's Science Night Live
Yes,
this
sir.
Saturday at the Orlando Science Center.
What is Science Night Live?
Well, that's a perfect question, Daniel, and I'll let Jeff explain because Jeff is here from the Orlando Science Center. And but it's an adult night, adult only night that you could explore the Science Center, get really cool, unique experiences and
talks, you know, expo type deal. Yeah.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Tom. So you're our unofficial PR guy at the Science Center.
I like asking a question than answering it.
We do a lot of that.
It's a lot easier for me that way.
We do a lot of that. Most of the time, what we do is we tell you about it, and then we end it with we end it on an uptick. So it's like a question where you can go, and it's an adult night where you can, maybe have some beverages and get a talk or something. And then you go, "That's right, Dad," and I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm so great."
It is a cool thing that we do several times a year, Science Night Live. We open the Science Center up just for folks 21 up and have lots of cool things for them to do, exhibits, telescopes, trivia, movies, special guests. We're doing this one coming up Saturday here, August 10th. It's themed around our Science and Guinness World Records exhibit, and we got some awesome folks doing some talks and presentations, like the young lady that I brought with me today.
Woo woo!
Yes, and speaking of this young lady that has an incredible background of experience.
Website I've ever been on. Like, you have the nicest resume of things that I think are cool that you've accomplished I've ever seen in my life.
Thank you so much, Dan.
Amazing.
April Jennifer Choi is here, and she is a mechanical engineer at Kennedy Space Center, full-time circus performer.
Not anymore.
Performer, full-time circus performer, with multiple Guinness Book of World Records.
Yeah, like so many, I can't even read them all out because there's 20, 15, or
21.
21.
I think, as of
21.
today.
Yeah.
As of what, you do a new one in the car?
There's some pending that I haven't released yet.
Nice.
So Jennifer, thanks for
appreciate
coming.
the
And
time.
Jennifer's going to be at Science Night Live on Saturday too. Talking and
showing basically
explaining what she does, the physics behind what she does, and let's talk how you had this whole thing started, Jennifer. So how did you even get into because you have multiple world records that consist of whips, like in whipping things.
Yep.
So how did that even start? And tell us about how long the whip is and just everything about
Whip us into shape.
Yeah, it all started on this first date with a guy. I'm kidding.
Yeah, it might. You never know.
No, I was a dancer for a very long time. Like everybody, for a lot of people I know, their parents put them in dance classes. So
My
I
daughter
danced for,
is in dance.
Exactly.
She's got the bug. She does it 5 hours a day, Monday through Friday. She loves it. It's her favorite thing in the world. Will she graduate to whips?
I don't know.
Because I like that.
I'll get her a whip.
Get her a whip. I support that.
Whip.
I support that. Okay, yeah. So you were a dancer for a very long time. It's really hard, really athletic. I've learned that through, like, I used to sort of be the guy that make fun of it.
You're an athlete.
Yeah, you're an athlete. Like, if you're a dancer, you're 100% an athlete.
Yeah, so I got invited to teach dance and choreography at a bunch of different like athletic events, including circus festivals and circus camps. So they have instructors that come in from all over the world and they're teaching various circus arts. So one of them was a whip cracking instructor. What? So I went to that class and then got to be good friends with him. So then he started teaching me whip stuff.
And so did you just like fall in love with it, or like what was about the whip that caused you to like want to get better at it?
So conveniently, so he was also a fire performer, and my undergraduate degree was focused in combustion, and my graduate degree was focused in computational fluid dynamics, specifically compressible flows, which means anything that's moving, well, not anything, but air that's moving at super high velocities, so supersonic, hypersonic, so therefore you have variations in density. So I studied shock waves and fire productions and fire performances as part of like my degree, which then helped out quite a bit, as well as flexible body dynamics, solid body dynamics, kinematics, which allowed me to use a lot of that knowledge into engineering and developing whips myself.
So
that's insane. So the actual science of the whip, the what is it, a mini sonic boom that happens?
It's not a mini. It is a genuine sonic boom.
Yeah, at the end. How does that work? Can you walk me through that?
Explain what the crack of the whip is.
So there's lots of different ways of cracking a whip. I think most people have kind of seen the Castlevania or Indiana Jones way, also known as an overhand whip or circus whip.
So many points for the Castlevania reference. I mean, there's so many points. I
know the
a lot.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I'm more of a Castlevania guy. Well done. Yeah.
I'm more of a Dodo Jones, as they call me.
Yeah.
So the key point of physics here is going to be a conservation of momentum. So you're holding the entire whip, you're swinging it behind you, you're throwing it forward, so the entire mass of the whip is moving forward. Now, whips are tapered so that they'll have a mass taper, which means starting at one end, it'll continuously drop down in diameter, which means it also drops down in mass density. It's not actually density that's changing, but relatively speaking to the rest of the whip, the mass is decreasing because the cross-section area is increasing. So as mass goes down, velocity goes up in order to maintain conservation of momentum. Obviously, some of that's shed to drag, but essentially that makes the velocity go really, really high when the mass is very, very small. So at the very end, that tip is called a popper or a cracker. It's moving so fast that it's exceeding the speed of sound, creates a bow shock, and that bow shock is what you hear as that distinctive crack.
Can I ask you about Indiana Jones?
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, like she explains things so well. Like, yeah,
this has always bothered me.
That
Jennifer.
actually made a ton of sense. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Indiana Jones wanted to cross some sort of pit of spikes or alligator pit. He'd whip a pipe or something.
It would wrap around like 35 times.
Yeah, it wrap around, and that I can get behind. I'm like, all right, I can see that happening. And then when he swing across.
Yep.
And then when he got to the other side,
and
then when he got to the other side, he'd do a little wrist action and then it somehow take it off the pipe. And I always, even as a kid, was like, he wouldn't be able to get it off there. Once he put his full weight on there, it would it'd be stuck on there basically. He'd never be able to. So what do you think, Jennifer?
What says you?
So a couple of things with that particular whip. It was made by David Morgan out of Australia. He made most of the Indiana Jones whips. He has unfortunately passed away, and his art is being continued by his grandson, Alex. So that particular whip actually had a steel cable running through it to be able to give the supported weight, because leather is not as strong as nylon. So a lot of the nylons we use is made out of what's known as paracord or 550 cord, which means its test strength is 550 pounds. So that fall alone can support 500 pounds and easily support a person. Part two is if you're rock climbing, you'll know we changed from single point anchors to double point anchors and now doing these barrel anchors, which means it has to wrap 1.5 times around. Generally speaking, if you're allowed to put a minimal amount of tension on one side of rope and you get 3 full rotations about something, it will have enough frictional force to stay. as long as the friction coefficient is above roughly around the 0.5 area, if you wrap something 3 times around and have minimal tension, like it can't be 0, have just a minimal amount of tension, it'll support that entire wrap because you're doing 3 full rotations. So as you pull the other sides, it's tightening up. So then if you've ever wrapped your cord around something, pulled it, you'll know there's a lot of friction right there. You release it, it will wrap. Then the type of crack that's used, usually you don't try to use an overhand crack when you're trying to swing onto something. I end up using an underhand crack, and the reason being is when you're doing it underhand, it's wrapping over this. It's a lot easier to see how it's being wrapped over, and then you can throw your whip to cover the tail. So if you're covering the tail, then it will wrap around and hold. Then you can swing, support your weight underneath it, and then that unwrap will let go of it as well.
You have mesmerized the chat room. Everybody's just listening to you. They're watching your hat. They're looking how cool you look. They're hearing everything you say, and they're just like, oh my God, I got to go to Science Night Live. I got to go to this.
So, Jennifer,
wow.
So I can understand, you're obviously
underhand whip crack.
Super smart person, and you get into, learning how the whip works, and you're pulling out your whip right now.
I got a lot of whips. I got 300 at home.
300 whips.
So how do you get to the point where you get so good at it that you're able to break multiple Guinness Book of World Records? Because I imagine there's a lot of other men.
Whippersnappers?
What
are they called whippersnappers?
Yeah, we use that term a lot.
On the board. Take that.
So there's
he
a lot
looked
of
at me like I was stupid.
A lot of other whippersnappers out there.
It's fun to say, isn't it?
That have probably gotten pretty good at whipping things. So how did you become the best?
She's become one of our favorite guests. The chat room is just melting.
I'm definitely not the best. Like in the U.S. alone, we have Jack the Whip-Air, we have Adam Winwich, I think, holds the most number of Guinness World Records.
Jack the Whip-Air.
Yeah.
I am Jack the Whip-Air.
Yes, he has a lovely French accent. He's super popular on TikTok right now.
What?
Oh, okay.
Aaron Bonk has a number of whip records, so there's a large number of people. One of my favorite artists is Leo Orleans. Star Power, she's just, those people are some of the biggest inspirations.
Are there
to
a
me.
lot of lady or women whipper crackers or snappers? Because I feel like you stand out, you're very pretty and you have other interests that you're into, you're kind of rock and roll-y, like that. So I would think that you would stand out. Or are there a lot of ladies doing this?
It is definitely still the minority for women to be in whip cracking. Huh. So we go to whip cracking festivals and there's just not as many as I personally would like to see. So it's always been a mission of mine to encourage more women and people of color to join this type of art, circus arts in general.
It's not a strength thing, right? Is it more of a finesse thing? Because I would imagine you don't need to, if you're a bigger dude, that's not going to make you crack a whip better, right?
Yeah, one of my favorite things that I've done is I broke the world record for the longest whip ever cracked, and it's me tiny. I actually gave the challenge of, hey, we have a couple hours before the surveyors show up to verify the full length. Anybody, you're more than welcome to just try and crack this whip. Because at that time, it was 260 feet long. And we're give it a shot. And so many people, these big burly guys are trying to crack the whip and they can't get it. And it's because they don't have their, what we refer to as planes, the plane of movement. They don't have their planes clean enough. So it just kind of fiddles out.
So 260 feet long the whip is, and you're able to crack it.
Yeah.
And you're using your knowledge, but then am I correct in thinking that you know how to whip it? The reason these guys are gassing out the whip, so to speak, for lack of a better term, is that you know how to get the most efficient whip crack.
That is it.
Yeah, it's all about the efficiency of getting that energy down the line and tapering it down and get that actual sonic boom.
Yeah,
Not
so
little. I said little.
I've cracked whips up to 364.5 feet long.
Oh my God, that's crazy! That the energy would even travel that far to be able to crack it.
Is the crack a softer crack, or is it the same?
Yeah, as long as it is a distinct crack. So witnesses or sonic sound engineers can verify that is a distinct crack. It counts.
That's amazing.
So, Jennifer, let's go over some of the other records that you hold, too.
Do we have enough time? Good Lord. Get your encyclopedia out.
One of them, most fire hoops spun.
Yep.
So,
we're into fire. We hired some, we have these new Hawaiian friends of ours that came and put on a luau for us.
Yeah.
Rex and his team, they came and they were doing fire knives and they were flipping on, and we loved it so much. And you do that sort of thing? You do fire knives?
That is correct.
Dude, I love it.
So, how many hoops and what was that record?
That record was most number of fire hoops spun at the same time. The person who held it before me was part of a troupe named, I forgot the first one. It was something Fireflies. I saw her do that, and I was like, that's a super cool one that I want to train for. So I ended up training for that, getting a bunch of fire hoops, practicing it to make sure I can sustain them on my waist.
Where do you get a fire hoop from? You go to Amazon?
There are lots of places you can get fire hoops from. Like, I would say Google it. You can look on a lot of social media forums to find people. I'm not going to name specific vendors, but there are numbers that I really, really like.
That's awesome.
So, Jennifer, I just noticed, like, even when you came in here, you were practicing with juggling around fans.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then I observed this, and then just listening to you talk for a while, and then talking about, because a lot of these things are just pure determination and practice, right? And then so it dawned on me, I'm like, you just probably have a personality that once you focus on something, you can be determined enough to practice until you nail it. Is that kind of accurate?
I liked the term focused procrastination.
Okay.
I am really good at not doing the thing I'm supposed to do by doing things that find more interesting.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. I wrote a book.
That's what I do, and my wife yells at me all the time.
Yeah,
I should tell her I could be a world record holder like Jennifer.
Well, you don't wear a hat. You don't look cool.
yeah. And I don't like hard work. And I'm not talented at all.
Yeah, so I did things like I wrote a separate book other than my thesis because I just I don't really want to write my thesis. I'm just going to write this. And then eventually there was enough of that content to maybe do a book. So then there'll be a bunch of things where I'm like, oh man, I have to do all these calls or whatever. I'm just going to sit there and practice throwing a yo-yo or stuff. So then I'll drill and sit there and practice a yo-yo while I'm doing some meeting over here. And next thing you know, I'm getting really, really good at yo-yos.
Oh, that's awesome. I had a yo-yo time for a minute. I got really into it. The Smothers Brothers got me into it because of Yo-Yo Man. Oh, I loved it. They were the only ones that sold wooden yo-yos. Oh, less friction. They were great.
One of the speaking of like learning how to do something on when you're having a meeting or whatever, the most shuffles or rifle shuffles, the deck of playing cards.
Mm-hmm.
So how'd you learn how to do that?
I am very lucky that I have a community of magicians that I get to regularly talk with.
All right.
So I got to hey, I'm trying to do this record. These are the ways I'm thinking about it. And oh, you can have more economy of motion if you end up going, instead of longitudinally, you go latitudinally across the deck. So therefore it minimizes the amount of motion you need. You could square this faster instead of having to remove your hands to put this. If you bring your pinky around and square the deck immediately. Oh, did you know you could do a card string instead of an overhand thumb card spring? You can do it underhand and vice versa. Messed around that, coming up with these very efficient methodologies. So then I had a magic consultant just be like, hey, what do you think of this? And oh man, that's really, really good. You can get really fast at that. So then I practiced that specific style of shuffling, as I'm just sitting there talking to people. I always need to have something in my hands. So I'm just playing with it, doing it faster and faster and faster, and feel okay, I think this is a thing that I can go for.
So
the chat room thinks you're smitten with her determination.
Thank you.
No,
seriously.
Well, you're a mixture of Neil deGrasse
this is
Tyson.
a taken woman. I mean, but you're into it because she is hyper focused.
Neil deGrasse Tyson and David Blaine. You're a mixture of.
Yeah.
Well, you're the physics behind all these different feats,
or why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah,
I'm sure there are a lot of people that crack whips that just know I know how to make that thing go crazy, but they don't know the science.
Yeah,
exactly.
Some other records are most flowers crack whipped in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And was it just another situation where you're I could crack whip pretty quickly? And
how many is it, by the way?
I think that one was 55.
Jesus, that's almost a second.
Yeah.
How do you do that? How do you do that?
And that it also implies insane accuracy to do that. So how accurate are you out with cracking a whip on something?
I am consistently, I would say I'm 50% of the time within 2 inches. I am 95% of the time within a 4-inch target, and I am 99.9% of the time in a 6-inch target.
So with a 6-inch target,
let's put an apple. Let's put an apple on your head and crack your eyeball.
Flowers.
Could you whip a flower out of my mouth?
Oh yeah.
All right, we're doing that
right now.
Is that okay, Jeff? I didn't even check with Jeff.
You know what? It's
I
didn't even check with Jeff. You know what? That's not fair. I just let's do it.
You know what?
The boss is sitting right here.
It's a great preview for what's going to happen Saturday night at Orlando Science Center. So let's do it.
I think you're fascinated. This is Jeff always brings in some of our most favorite guests. Jeff always brings them in, but you have you may have taken the crown.
We would have to do this in the lobby. So
I got
maybe
cameras out there.
Do it. Yeah. I mean, now before we do the stunt, which is by
you can end with it. You can end with it. We got time.
I didn't know this was radio stunt day.
You got excited. Look how happy he got.
I was mad the whole morning.
He was mad all morning. He had a mad morning.
I get to do a radio stunt. I feel alive again.
He didn't know that there was going to be like a cool rock and roll scientist that would come and whip flowers out of your mouth with a whip. That's dope, dude.
This is the best recording day I've ever had.
He loves his job again.
So, Jennifer, are there any, before we do the stunt, are there any records that you tried to do and you just couldn't get there? There's like maybe you're a white whale of records, or maybe you're still trying
Why are you bringing up the stuff that make her mad right before she whips her flowers? I'd whip his nose right off.
There are a lot of records that we got really close to, and something about like either the paperwork or they didn't quite get a right view, or one of the ones that I'm like super proud of but also kind of super sad about was a record that was the most number of whip cracks, specifically fire whip cracks. And the first time I attempted this record, I did not think about like having to tell the audience to wait. So I'm doing all these whip cracks, and it's like 45 seconds in, and they know no one's counting because it's like 250 cracks a minute, so it's a lot. So they just start cheering, and unfortunately the rules are you have to have a distinctive crack, so you get a sound engineer to level those peaks. But the crowd was cheering so loud that it took over the microphone, and all of a sudden you couldn't see those clips as it goes out to the outside of the microphone range to see that it was a distinctive crack. So that entire range didn't count. So I had to do it again.
Oh, that's
my God.
Yeah.
I hope it told you right out there. What do you stop? Do you know what you're doing?
Yeah,
you ruined it.
You're ruining my life.
A couple other ones later on, we're like, okay, we're going to count down to make sure we're close. But I have to tell everybody here, you have to stay quiet until the record is like confirmed. Otherwise, we can't tell.
Sure. Yeah. It's probably not fun to do it with just you, some friends, and the judge, right? Like, you want to have the energy or people there. You want it to be sort of a spectacle.
Yeah, doing it for a live audience is
Give
way
me one
better.
more on there.
Well, I mean, you have most Jenga blocks whipped out of. So how
does that work?
Are these records that you see that have been established first, and then you're like, I could. Oh yeah,
we got you.
I got you. Hold on.
My apologies.
No, you're fine. Don't even worry about it.
I didn't expect to get wet this
Yeah,
quickly.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, it happens. Like it's Florida. Florida. It's always wet around here. Oh, do we not have any paper towel? Oh, yeah, we do. Okay.
Thank you so much.
One tiny paper towel.
Why?
And it's not even a paper towel. It's toilet paper.
no, that's a hand towel.
So what are your personal hand towels? You don't even give me those.
Well, what happened is I ran out and I realized we have no more paper towels.
We don't have anything. Since Sam left, we haven't ordered any supplies. I've been writing with my own blood.
She was the one that told us.
I've been writing with my own blood. My finger, I prick it every morning.
She was the one that told us we had to order more supplies.
Well, she didn't tell us. She'd scream at us.
Then I looked inside our office to see if there's some shirts laying around, but then I was like, I can't give Jennifer a shirt. She's too smart.
She's going to be one of your dirty shirts.
She's going to leave and she'll be like, that was horrible.
The dumb one handed me a shirt.
And I'm pretty sure like the super influential people in this world could probably have me killed.
Yeah, if she wanted to.
So, going back to like how you choose the records, do you just does someone tell you about them? And when you see them, like you do the math in your head, you're like, I could break that?
Depends on what the record are. When I started, a lot of it was just conversations with people, and they would ask the question, oh, what's the world's longest whip? What's who's the fastest whip cracker? Things like that. And they're like, I don't know the answer to that. I have to go do a quick Google search. It's like, oh, look at this. This record was held by Adam Winrich, and this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. It's like, yeah, so
he's
eventually,
the guy?
Yeah, he is the guy.
Yeah.
Like in the U.S., like hands down, in my opinion, the best whip cracker in the United States. The
I
most
think
Guinness records, the most shows. Dang.
This year, I'm going for smallest whip.
That would be Nick Schrader.
And Nick Schrader did
Yep.
smallest whip?
Yep.
I'm coming for you, Nick. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for smallest whip.
So is it just pure training, how to get better at whip cracking, or is there a mental aspect that we're not thinking about, or is it just like training muscle memory so that you know the motion and you just get faster and faster at that? Like, like, is there anything we can equate it to? Like, I see the Rubik's Cube, like world record people.
Oh, yeah.
And it seems to them they're just constant training and then constant
But do you
testing
dabble in
themselves.
sort of all of this stuff?
Yeah,
Like,
I
feel
trained for Rubik's Cube.
Yeah,
for quite
I
a
feel
bit.
really?
See,
Yeah.
that's like every time we ask her about, like, we've been like slaying on whips, and I kind of feel like like, I think you dabble in almost everything, right? Is it hard for you, and this is the question I've been sitting on for a second, is it hard for you to narrow down your interests?
Yeah, absolutely. There's always something new every week when I'm like, you know what? This time I need to try to do arrow catching while dragged behind a horse on a skateboard, and my wife is shooting me.
Yeah. And on the picture of your website, I believe it's you and your wife, and
that is
like,
correct.
you're both set on fire or something.
Yep.
It's it's
wow.
They're standing in these beautiful wedding gowns, I believe. I don't know if it was.
Yep, those are wedding gowns.
But and then they're all on fire.
That's amazing.
It's insane.
You have the life I want.
If you just Google flaming lesbian brides, make sure you're on Google and not like Pornhub or something. And then we'll be like the first 5 out of 10 search results.
There you go. And it's beautiful photography and really, really cool. Kind of gives you an idea of her vibe.
Is there any record that you're like, this will take too long to learn and not worth the amount of effort it would take? Or are you not like that? Or you like the challenge?
I tried for some of them. Like, one of them was most bullwhip cracks in a minute. Adam Winrich, who held the record before, while I was training for it, when I intended to go for it. And I started asking him questions. Hey, help me out. He's like the world's nicest guy, seriously. So he's like, hey, this is the whip I used and why I used this whip. He then mailed it to me so I could train with that specific whip. And it was like the handle dimensions, the thong weight, the thickness, the counterbalance. And he's like, oh, yeah, try where your hand should be, because you go further up this way, you'll reduce the torque. You go further down, you get more leverage. So it's a balance there. And then I was just training for it for so long, and I couldn't get that close. And then I knew Jacques Lepierre, he's Jacques the Whipper. He said he was going to go for it. I'm like, okay, if you want this whip, you can. And like, he posted on TikTok and social media, like, this was one of the worst records that I decided to go to. Like, it was for him, and he's a big, strong guy who does a lot of baseball. Like, his grip strength's already phenomenal. And he's like, no, I had to then work out. I had to change my diet. I had to give up carbs. I had to like weight lift.
You change his
grip
diet?
Strength. Yeah, so that you could build up the endurance and the strength to be able to do that record. I'm like, thank God I didn't do that.
Okay.
But would you have had to maybe approach it a different way, being smaller, or would it not have
Yeah,
worked?
not that one.
Gotcha.
That one is
Gotcha.
it's so much forearm strength. It's just like, and you get tired so quickly. It's like, I'm gonna go something that requires a little more finesse.
How do you train for whip? Are you training just your forearms, or do you go to the gym to do that? Or
It depends on what it was. So like, for longest whip, like, you have gym routines that you can build up like shoulder strength, but that one I ended up getting like this 5-foot long aluminum pipe, or tube actually, and then adding weight to the end and like securing that down so I could get up and lift it. So I actually gave myself tendonitis training for that record, because I was trying to run and snap it and pull back and push, and I kept pushing against my ankle so much I got tendonitis from it.
Wow. Are you training for anything currently?
I have several things that I kind of keep in my back pocket that I'm like, this would be fun. So then I like play around with it. I see, okay, this is what I need to learn.
The whip in her back pocket.
Yeah.
Like, are you big into social media as well? And like,
I was starting into it before I got this current job that I have, and then like, I just kind of, full-time performing is no longer what I do, so I ended up transitioning over to more of a technical role, and then I haven't kept up with social media near as much.
Gotcha, because it just seems like you have an insanely interesting life. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Your
Like,
day job now, do you work at Kennedy Space Center, or
Yep,
at the Cape?
Yeah, that is correct.
And what do you do there?
So I'm transitioning roles. I still am doing management for ground systems, so all the stuff that touches the ground for mechanical and aerospace. And then I'm transitioning into the flight side, so doing the analysis for flight systems.
Have you been following any of the astronauts and the?
Yes, I have definitely been keeping updated.
Yeah. I was just reading it as of this morning that they even offered up the possibility for SpaceX to bring them home in the, what is that one, the Dragon? I think that's what that's called.
Yeah. And listen,
SpaceX has Crew Dragon.
No offense to other engineers, but I've seen movies, and you have to be the most interesting engineer around that.
By far. I got a lot of engineer friends, and they are not fun to be around. And you're very fun. Like, we can talk to you like literally for hours. Horrible. And I didn't even look at that. I just went right for the whips. I forgot about the engineering part.
Also, violin. You could play the violin and
and the bass. He plays a bass.
So did you one day you're like, I want to learn violin? How did that come about?
I don't even remember. I feel like somewhere when I think it was 4th or 3rd grade when they first introduced string instruments. And then they brought in a whole bunch of string instruments into music class. You got to like try them and get explain it. And I, for some reason, chose the violin. I don't remember the exact reason why. So my mom rented out a violin to me, and then I did violin from like 4th grade all the way through finishing high school with it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of. You are a dedicated human being.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's
like,
what
she started in 4th grade
born...
and ended like regular school doing it.
So Jennifer, were you born like this? Because you like, I'm trying to like, I've got a 9 and 10-year-old son, and they don't like nothing.
It's a problem.
And I'm like, do something. Where you have like, what do you like? You have to dedicate yourself to, and they're just like, I don't want to do nothing. And then, I'm like, well, I think maybe you're either born driven, you grind towards whatever you want. Like, I'm going to accomplish this no matter what it takes. So have you been like this your whole life?
Now, I would say, I mean, this has always been a debate between like psychologists, psychiatrists, et cetera, of like how much of your life is nurture versus nature.
Yes, I'm obsessed with
mixed.
that.
Yeah, he won't shut up about it.
So some of it is this is how you came out of the womb going to be, right? And some of it's like, oh, if you have that culture of people who constantly want to push you. Like, I definitely had friends that they were into martial arts, and then I wanted to hang out with my friends, so I got into martial arts, and they said, okay, keep doing this, this, and this. So being around a group of people that constantly pushed me into either science, technology, engineering, mathematics, circus arts, engineering, horses, etc. That's what it. Yeah.
We didn't even touch on horses. Yeah. You got horses?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah,
but how do you have enough time to do?
Yeah, you're an abnormal human, Jennifer. You got to realize. I'm sure as you talk to someone boring like me or anybody else, you're just like, I am way more interesting and driven than anybody I've ever met.
Horses require a lot of time. They're amazing. My dad had a horse. Like, so how do you have to budget your calendar out and say like a little time here, a little time here, a little time for your wife, a little like how do you do it?
Yeah, absolutely. I live by like Outlook calendar and Google Calendar.
Yeah.
Those are like every minute is allocated to something.
And do you try to squeeze like what are your typical days like? Are you like 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. like just burning it, or?
I would say so. I'm usually up around 6 a.m. Then breakfast, feed the cats, wash the dishes, etc. And then 7 a.m. is usually when I log in and start working. And then I'm usually working for engineering job. And then I'm also like texting saying, hey, this is what I can do, organizing all the things, then get off somewhere around 4 or 5. And that's when I transition into, okay, today I'm going to go down to Melbourne and do CrossFit and aerials down there. If it's a Tuesday, it's going to be like ultimate frisbee. If
so
it's a
you
Wednesday,
do
it's juggling.
Stuff too, and she flies on the scarves. My God.
Yeah, listen.
Have you ever tried to combine all of them? Horse plus scars plus whip.
That's how a lot of the records happen.
Yeah.
So like the horse boarding with whips and arrow catching, blindfolded. And then we did a bunch of routines. I just started a new routine for burlesque that was magic, quick change, hat tricks, whip cracking.
Wait, the quick change
dart.
outfits?
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with those, Jeff. Those are the craziest things I've ever seen in my life. Sometimes I maybe fall in a fish whistle and I watch those and I'm like, this is real magic. This is real magic.
Well, listen, all I know, if you can whip Jenga pieces off of a Jenga tower, you can do anything you want.
So, we're about to run out of time. So let's plug it real good so everybody knows how they can go see you perform and speak and talk about all of these great things you do.
Listen, Orlando Science Center this Saturday, Science Night Live. Get your tickets because there is a limited amount of tickets for every Science Night Live.
Well, you want it to be comfortable.
It's adults only. There are some beverages that you could have there, and it's a great date night. You can hear Jennifer and speak there, which just meeting Jennifer is, I mean, one of the greatest guests.
Oh, heck yeah, you're more than welcome to invite me.
And you're local, right?
Yep.
Oh,
man.
Awesome, yeah.
Well, I went through all your PDF files, and Tom and I were talking about for our events, and with these guys liking you, we might try to book you for an event.
Heck yeah.
100%.
Yeah, because our guys like an outstanding performance. We have learned that our guys like it when humans come and say, hey, look at this cool stuff I can do. So that would be amazing.
All right, so the last thing we'll do is our radio stunt where you're going to whip a flower out of my mouth in the lobby.
Deal.
Okay, yeah. I got a camera out there.
So just explain how this is going to work. I put the flower stem in my mouth, and then...
Yeah, you put it in your mouth.
And how long, how far are you away when you whip this? like if you did accidentally whip my cheek, like,
that'd be awesome. Girls like that though. You look like a cowboy, like Red Dead Redemption.
Will it break the skin?
If I do, it's not going to be accidental.
Wow. Like, are you gonna seriously hurt my face? Like it would be a stinger, right?
I think it cuts you wide open, and it's one of those cuts that doesn't bleed. It's where you just see the fat. You just see the fat, and you're like, what? And we're like, nothing, dude. It's fine.
All right, let's go. We're gonna do this.
I'll stay here,
and then I'm gonna give
scream.
I'm gonna give Jeff.
Yep.
Jeff, can you film this?
Oh yeah, right on.
So
Jeff's gonna get out there to do some filming. I'm gonna put it out in the lobby. I'll describe. Tom's going out to the lobby.
Where should I stand on this? Should I stand over here, Dan?
Okay, let's see what.
Okay, I got the lobby cam on. Okay, yeah, you should stand there, Tom.
Okay. Could you whip this way?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, you can see this all at YouTube or twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live, or just go to YouTube and search Tom and Dan Live. But she's got her flower. It always makes me, when we have guests like this come in, it always makes me think I gotta step up the way I dress. I gotta dress like I give a damn. All right, Tom's got a. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see this. She put her hat on him, and now she is putting what appears to be a red carnation into his mouth, and then she's going to step back and whip it out of his mouth. Jeff is doing some videoing. I'm a little concerned for Jeff. He's right in the line of fire.
Let me get a little bit further back.
She's gonna.
Make sure I have enough space.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She's about to whip some. She's about to whip it. Okay, here we go.
I'm gonna play this slightly safer, a little lower, a little further out.
This is amazing.
Okay, you ready?
Here he goes.
3, 2, 1.
Oh! Wow, dude. That was crazy.
That is.
You could feel it, couldn't you? You could feel it.
Oh,
like,
I
woof.
feel the whip of the air.
It's a sonic boom.
Right, yeah, in front of my face.
Wow, that was
Jennifer,
awesome.
I mean, you have an amazing talent.
Yeah, you are so good.
Thank you.
You know, it's again Science Night
Science Night Live
this Saturday, Orlando Science Center.
Limited tickets, get them.
Get your tickets, and also Jennifer, you have any website you want to plug or anything like that?
Yeah, you can visit. So, like all my social media, my website is April Jen Choi. So at April Jen Choi, apriljenchoi.com. It's pretty easy to find me. If you don't remember my name, Flaming Lesbian Brides.
Yeah.
First thing that'll pop up.
It will. Yeah,
perfect.
I tried it. That actually works really, really well.
Awesome.
Thanks so much. You're awesome. We appreciate
thank you so
being
much, Dan.
here.
Thank you so much, Tom.
And
Take a little break.
Yep, we'll be right back.
Awesome. And is that it
Yep.
for?
Yeah.